Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Bradley Ellis.
Yo.
Ben Moore.
Howdy.
Brandon Jones. And Ian Hink. Okay, so that is... I need to explain
excited.
it. No, we need to explain what that is. That is the howl of the dog that was just outside our door.
Did we get a confirmation from Ian that
Brandon
was a
was
dog?
just doing that.
Yeah.
I could never see it. I never laid eyes on
Ghost dog.
the ghostly hound.
I was imagining a big dog.
Like a basset hound, dude,
Yeah.
just chilling.
It
Diamond
also sounded
dogs.
like it could have been a man.
And it also could have been a man, but it needs to be explained to listeners, I feel like. We can't just make a noise like that with no explanation.
I'm going to choose abyssal horror. That's what that was.
There was an abyssal horror out the door. Do you all know my favorite way to start a podcast?
Game announcement.
Corrections.
Oh, game announcements, actually. Corrections are at the end now, Ben. It's the caboose.
I'm just kidding.
Phase 4.
Yeah, Phase 4. Yakuza 7 was announced just today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots to talk about with Yakuza 7. The title is Yakuza 7: Whereabouts of Light and Darkness in Japan. In the U.S., we will know it as Yakuza Like a Dragon. And we're talking about that.
Hell yeah.
It's kind of like a Resident Evil Biohazard situation where Like a Dragon is the Japanese name for the Yakuza series. Mm-hmm. So to say Yakuza Like a Dragon is basically, this is the core of Yakuza here out.
Like
Almost.
a Dragon is such a good title.
It is.
It's really good.
Yes, it really, really is.
Both Resident Evil and this at 7, it's that magical number. They're ready to
You're
shake it up.
Is, both 7 is the connector there.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 7, it's a big moment.
This game will be coming out in Japan on January 16th, 2020.
Crazy.
I love that. I love the announcement. Announce it right now. Have this big old show just for your Yakuza game, and then it's coming out very, very soon.
Man, that studio is putting in work.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I think the same studio does the remakes too, right?
I believe
The
so.
Kiwami ones?
I'm not, you're making me doubt myself a little bit, but I think so, to the best of my knowledge.
Well,
yes.
it's all Sega. Yeah. And so it also is basically they have a studio that is, excuse me for not knowing it, Like a Dragon Studio is basically what they're called, who just makes these games year in, year out. The big difference here, there's several. We have a new protagonist. Mm-hmm. So Yakuza's 1 through 6 all had the same protagonist. Mm-hmm. This guy was announced, I feel like it was even a year ago when it was Yakuza Online. Remember that announcement? Yeah, and we had all these guesses about what Yakuza Online was going to be.
But Ichiban always looked awesome.
Yes.
And now we get to see kind of how he got to this point.
Right.
With the crazy hair.
Yeah,
which is
so
great.
he's got crazy, wild hair. And that when he was announced, it was basically the image of him. And they were like, this is going to be the next protagonist. And this is before Yakuza 6 was even out, I think. It's like, here's the future of the Yakuza franchise. He'll be in Yakuza Online. And then Yakuza Online was like a weird, like, dinky mobile game, essentially. It was really strange with 2D art. It was not what we all thought that would be all be in like a big city together. It was not an MMO.
Cracking heads with Huber or something in the alley.
It was not that. And so, yeah, it was like weird. Like, why did they announce it? But now we finally get it. Basically, to say, hey, this is the last game for Kiryu, Yakuza 6. I think you kind of want that reassurance that the franchise will keep going afterward. And so they announced their next protagonist way, way early. And yeah, as Ben said, we finally get to see him in his game, his story. That is what this is.
Mm-hmm. In every way, it feels like they're pushing ahead, which is exactly what I think they need to do. It's not like, hey, here's more of the same. We're using this opportunity to go nuts.
Yeah.
Because we haven't even talked about some of the biggest stuff. But I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that this studio is not just resting on the same thing again and again. And we talked about it in the Judgment spoiler mode, how refreshing it was to get a brand new cast of characters, not relying on things that you've already loved in the past, that you've seen before, that you're really pushing ahead, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it briefly about just even the title change. I kind of like it. I kind of like dropping the 7 for the US, for the international market, because it's an intimidating thing to hop into a series at 7.
Every time a Yakuza game comes out, I feel like I get people asking, like, where should I start and all of that stuff. So I think on some level, yeah, you're definitely right.
Right. And new character. It doesn't seem to have the baggage of a Yakuza 6 where it's like, hey, this is the culmination of all of these games. Johns, what did you think of the announcement trailer? What did you think of the way this game was revealed?
At the beginning of the trailer was very slow. I was sold on. Well, that was the gift though. They didn't actually show gameplay.
Yeah.
But the end, because it totally shifts in tone. It was a little silly in the beginning, but the end is very much like, oh, okay. I thought they were. I was actually curious. Although Yakuza games do famously start slow, don't they?
Yeah, it's a lot of men talking, staring at each other, and smoking.
In an
Yeah.
office, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they could have told the story, his story, and personally, my opinion is they could have told it in a much shorter amount of time. But when that thing was over, I was totally sold on the world, and I think it's great. At kind of echoing what Ben says, it definitely feels. I haven't played a lot of Yakuza games, but I've watched a lot of Yakuza trailers, and this definitely, again, feels like new cast, new world. New story. And the trailer and the introduction of him definitely makes you, it seems like this is the beginning for, especially knowing Kazuma and how he started and kind of all the bad things happened to him, when he, obviously nothing but bad things happened to him through 2, 3, 4, 5, but like kind of how his journey started. It's like, this lines up, this is definitely somebody who is upset and like who I'm going to enjoy playing and enjoy running around and tearing all these people down.
I mean, I really like the nice simple hook. This guy goes to jail for the team for 18 years, comes out, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And just like finding your footing,
When he wakes up in like the refuse heap and says
Yes.
like, "Where am I?" Is that like the new Kamurocho, like the
It is.
city
We have
the
a
guy
new city
tells
in
him?
this game.
Because that
Yeah.
seemed like the introduction too, where he gave him the name and the guy's like, "What?
Yes.
Like, what am I doing there?" It's
Yeah.
like that's for strangely that's a city I want to explore now.
Yep.
He's stuck there.
And then Brad, we of course have to talk about the main big difference that we kind of hinted at. We have a new turn-based fighting system
crazy.
in this game.
You're gonna have a party.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm down, dude. I'm
Yeah?
way down. I mean, Yakuza games have been beat 'em ups pretty much. How many are there now? Like 9, 10?
There are a lot.
There's
Okay.
a lot of them.
So there's the 6, there's the zombie one,
0.
Yep.
and then 0.
And there's Ishin.
And then Japan, you've also got
Oh, yeah,
Ishin.
Ishin
And then
for
you've got
sure.
like PSP
P
ones
ones,
as well.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of them.
But yeah, I'm like, it's a refreshing change. I mean, I think it fits well with the character, like what he likes in life about like JRPGs and Dragon Quest.
Man, that he directly references Dragon Quest in the trailer.
like
It's
the ending
so
of a
funny.
Dragon Quest game. Yeah.
Yes.
I love it, dude. It's cool.
I feel like just a thing that I've been saying and just talking with Huber about over the years, like for a long time now, where it's like, there, as far as combat goes, you get to a point at the end of Yakuza where like, this is still enjoyable. I love the heat actions. I love the simplicity of it, but it kind of just there needs to be a little bit more to it. Like we're ready for some new sort of thing. So just having a totally different way to interact with the game, to maybe have it be more strategic, I think could be fantastic. Yeah.
And it's hard to explain to the audience because it's not Final Fantasy style, two people standing in lines and just taking turns whacking at
Which
each
is
other.
what I thought it was.
Yes.
Because I just saw a picture before we came in for the podcast. And so
Right.
when I actually saw the GIF, I was like, oh, this makes a ton of sense.
I mean, how do we describe it though? Because it is people walking around each other. They're still turn-based, right?
You're all just kind of like in. What we saw is everyone just staying in an alleyway, and your characters are kind of moving around and stuff like that. But you could select specific actions that they would execute. It looks like you can move forward, kind of like Dragon Quest XI. You could kind of walk around the map. Kind of looked like that.
Yeah. And still in real time, it still looks like you're in the city
it doesn't
streets.
look
It doesn't
like
look like you warp to the
loads
screen
into
or
his-
anything.
yeah.
But I think the moment where I was sold is when the guy like barfs like
He
vomit or something, or he like poison or something.
lights, something blows fire
And
or
like
something.
I remember thinking like it would have been weird seeing Majima or seeing Kazuma do that. Like it would like
could see
even
Majima
though
doing it.
even though like there seems to be no limit whenever a new Yakuza game comes out and I see like he owns a bowling alley run by a chicken. I mean it's just like this story is going to go weird places. The abilities that they have always seem very true to the character. It's like this is like he can do these new things now because of what happened to him in the story. Like we're changing Majima these ways, he can do this thing now. And I like that they're like, no, you just have some weird friend who's a drunk who likes spits bile at people. It's like we can do that now. And so I wonder if the team had ideas with combat over the years, but they were like, that is silly. They're like, everything else can be silly in the world around him, but the actual combat needs to be expressive of his character. And now you can be like, all we do is just throw another person in your party. Even if someone like temporarily you use for a boss fight or one mission or something, you're like, that was really fun. That he just jumped around the place on a pogo stick and then left. That was crazy. That wouldn't be out of place to me for what I know of the Yakuza series. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I think just kind of echoing Brandon's point, as far as gameplay styles go, they've showed with past Yakuza games that they're fantastic at giving individual characters like a bit of a flair in combat that feels different, both with styles and actually different characters. But I think the other thing that Judgment just recently proved, like going into Judgment, it was like, okay, are you going to, you've built up characters like Kiryu and Majima for years now, and they just have so much to them. Can you do it on a brand new game, not relying on any of that, and they super did. Like Judgment's story is amazing. It's one of the best parts in a great game, and so like it's so nice being in Yakuza 7 where it's like I have no reason, there's nothing to show me that this is not going to be fantastic. You know,
Is it reasonable to think that Judgment will continue concurrently with this franchise?
I think it sold better than they expected to.
Cool.
So they were like,
I really hope so.
it could totally happen. Yeah.
I really hope so.
Wow.
I mean, without giving too much away, like the story is like, oh, this could keep going.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
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 Great.
Yeah. I can keep going.
Without getting into too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to bring one thing though. I understand people's frustrations with the idea of something they love changing so much.
Yeah.
I would just say, like, give it a chance, you know? I mean, it may not be for you. I think it's exciting because it's something new and they've had so many, but I totally get where people are coming from. But I'm willing to give it a try.
Yeah, so like going back to RE7, we had that switch to first person.
Yeah, huge
which was insane.
dramatic change, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they've done it, but look, yeah, not for like the mainline ones.
yeah, RE's kind of like flopped all over the place, and you know, RE6 was kind of poorly received by fans. It sold incredibly well, but like, it is interesting. You know, Yakuza 6 was this franchise somehow just continues to stack upon its own success.
Yeah, and I mean, while I think it's a good point what Brad is saying, like understanding people's reservations, it's like that studio has clearly gotten that style of game down so well, and so it's like,
Yeah.
you know that if they did that style of game, that it would be good, but you'd also know exactly what it is. Whereas this, like, sure, it may not work or it may be disappointing. That possibility is there, but it also allows them to push in a completely new way to reach even greater heights. And I think Resident Evil 7 is a great example, or even Resident Evil 4, where it's like, I think every once in a while it's important to have those moments where you just change it, just dramatically, and go for the moon.
And you get Revelations down the road. You can enjoy that, you know? A little bit something more
I
traditional.
think Judgment is the Revelations almost.
Yeah, I think if they continue Judgment, that would be good.
And personally, I'm more inclined to like check out this game.
Yes.
Well,
Why
here-
is that? That's curious to me.
I like the idea of like starting off this guy's story.
Okay.
I feel like you can hop
Yeah.
in.
You don't
love
have-
this
you don't
look
have,
of this
like,
guy.
Like all these other games to worry about. Is that what you
Yes.
said? Gotcha.
And because like everyone, Kiryu's got this reputation. Majima's just a name I hear all the time, and so
Right.
like when he appears, everyone else is like, "Oh man, here's Majima." Dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know who this is.
Gotcha.
And you know, so I like that, but also like I love RPGs. I love leveling up and getting new moves, and I know you do that in the other Yakuza games. I know you level up. I know you get new moves, but there's just something about
selecting an ability.
yeah, having a party.
And
dude.
it's going to get wacky.
Yeah.
Like super
And
wacky.
he just looks like this wonderful misfit, right? Like
Yes.
He's so angry.
yeah. I think he's already pretty captivating in the little bit that we've seen of him.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think this. I'm curious of when the story is going to be more, having not actually finished any Yakuza game, but I'm curious if the story is also representative of a cast going through it, and not just Kazuma. You know, not just like everyone's kind of rotating around this one guy who's on this tear. You know, trying to make things right. But it's fun. I see the four of them in the trailer, like jumping out of the building. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be into this crew.
Yeah.
This crew's gonna be fun.
Right. It's not Glasses Guy's story, but he'll have a nice story. You know, he'll have a nice little B plot there. Yeah. We have another new game announcement.
Woo! It's
Yeah. Oh, what a week. So Yacht Club Games had their own presentation, their own Nintendo Direct basically this week. Yacht Club Games Presents is what it was called. Big news for Yacht Club Games coming up, and so it's like, oh, cool, let's watch that. It was cool. The end, at the very, very end, we'll maybe touch on some of the other stuff, but the big announcement from that is Shovel Knight Dig.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What is that? What is Shovel Knight Dig, Brad?
So from like just what I've guessed, we've briefly seen it. It's just Shovel Knight with him like actually digging through stuff like SteamWorld Dig more so. Like it looks like it's stages designed kind of like the previous Mega Man style that they took inspiration from, but just like with more digging actually instead of just digging up loot. You're digging through the ground. You're going down a lot.
Yes. You know, I want to peel something from their site because it's a weird way they described this. Every adventure is different. Shovel Knight Dig levels have been meticulously crafted, then stitched together using proprietary generation techniques for infinite replayability, which is strange. So I think there is some sort of SteamWorld Dig element to it because that game was randomized a little bit. But I think they make sure to say meticulously so it doesn't give us that idea of like some randomly generated mishmash of levels. There's clearly levels. levels and boss fights when you watch that
I wonder
trailer.
if like the layout will be the same, but just
Yeah.
the things you encounter are different.
The
Yeah.
second town you get to will always be to the right, but like that area in between those two, spots will be different.
Yeah. I almost get the impression, just like Dig, like you're going back up to the surface to buy new stuff, and you go back down. And
Ah, man.
Love that. Give me that.
Sold so
I
hard.
loved doing that. Yeah.
same, man. I love that.
That grind was something else. So direct. It was so
dig
simple.
grind.
Well,
I would just go down, get stuff, come up, spend it, go down, get it. Like,
Yeah.
What SteamWorld
why could I not stop doing that?
what SteamWorld Dig nailed so hard, and I really don't think it's valued enough in this industry, is they gave you this immense sense of progression, and that game is not long at all. And I love that. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
got to spend 60 hours with SteamWorld Dig. You can. I think I finished it in like 6 or 8 hours or something.
That's
and
why 2 was so enticing. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, here we go.
I felt like I
felt full, man.
Yeah, I went so far with that character, and I love that, and I wish that type of experience happened just a little bit more often than it does.
We should say graphically, it looks like a PlayStation 1 game almost. You
It
know what
looks
I
a
mean?
little
I think people
different.
say 16-bit. It's like not even accurate because it
I
looks
think
way
that's
better
also
than
more
that.
where the
Yeah.
Mega Man comes in. It looks like a good-looking NES Mega Man game, basically.
No, Shovel Knight looks like a good-looking NES game.
Yeah.
Shovel Knight Dig looks like a good-looking.
Compared to SteamWorld Dig, that kind of took my
Sure.
brain to be like, all right, sorry, you said Dig, and let me just scrape those images out of my brain and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
accept whatever this is.
Yeah, you know what? I should also call out the co-developer, joint development project between Nitrome and Yacht Club Games. So Nitrome recently put out a game on Switch called Bomb Chicken. I think it like you lay bombs instead of eggs. But before this studio's existed since 2004, making basically flash games and mobile games. Bomb Chicken was their first like big like console release, I guess, and then I guess clearly had a good meeting with Yacht Club. And they're
awesome.
making this game together. It's been in development for, they said, 1 year, so I assume this game might be far off itself. But showed really well at the end, like good trailer.
Yeah,
for
that's
this.
cool. Did they have King of Cards announce or a release date on that?
December.
December. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yep. So
Oh,
get a little blinky light. The goat.
Sorry about that.
The howling ghost. Wait, was that just like an elbow onto a light?
You're too bright, so I was darkening you, but I accidentally clicked on minimum.
All the way down.
Yeah.
Kyle, I was gonna say Shovel Knight / Yacht Club Games just feel like they're in this position right now where they kind of have the world in the palm of their hands, where
Yeah.
they've just done so much right. But then I was thinking about like the Yakuza series and how that is in a similar position. Like there's so many. Like Resident Evil feels that way as well, where like not everybody, but a lot of people are just on their A game, and it just feels like kind of this miraculous time to get to experience it.
I feel like that was this gen. I've said that a lot.
Yeah.
This was like the Goodwill gen. This is like when everyone did a great job.
Sure.
Like
Good
there's
job,
so many,
developer.
like Doom, like there were just so many franchises that came back, like Tomb Raider, Hitman, and
You know what I would say?
Doom Eternal this year.
I would say EA did a bad job.
yeah, well, yeah.
I would say over this gen, EA
It
killed
makes
a lot
it
of their
stand out
franchises.
more, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
it
that's
does.
the problem.
Yeah. But yeah, generally, like a lot
But
of.
even within EA, I mean, you still
Yeah.
get something like Titanfall, right? Which you're gonna remember. So, or well,
Hey,
I hope you
I got faith
remember.
in Star Wars, man.
Yeah, and then maybe it's
Frontier's
turn
got a lot
around
of
very
fun
end.
updates, but it's still.
Yeah. I do want to talk about Yacht Club. So the rest of this announcement was King of Cards coming, Shovel Knight Showdown, their Smash
Yeah.
type
Is
game.
that just a mode or is that a full game?
So it's just a mode,
Yeah,
but
okay.
from what they showed in this presentation, they're making it more and more like Smash Brothers.
Cool.
They're adding more and more characters, more modes and things. It's going to have like a classic mode where you can kind of scroll through.
Hell yeah.
You unlock characters as you progress. Like it's becoming more and more its own game.
Wow.
They're selling that Amiibo 3-pack. And as Ben was kind of touching on, what I want to talk to the panel, what I want to ask you about is Yacht Club's standing. Like, are they a big deal? Is Yacht Club Games a big deal?
They're good at selling themselves. They're playing it the right way. Because we talked about Plants vs. Zombies a couple episodes back, and I talked about like the massive difference between PVC 1 and 2, where 2 was like, we sold out, woo! And like, I'm like, hey, more power to you. One definitely is just like you buy it and then you have it, and then 2 is like, no, microtransactions and all of that stuff. We're just going to keep, slowly rolling out things. And they were just like, people love this so much. Let's get more out to them as soon as possible. Let's have it be focused on the characters they already like. Have it be priced reasonably, And then they're like, doing these other collaborations. So like they could have just, turtled up and gone back into, their hole and come out with a really amazing Shovel Knight 2 a couple years later, which would be great. But it's like it's cool that they just have a lot of fun ideas and they just, toss them out, just these little tiny projects. I think it will extend the wait for something like a Shovel Knight 2, but I think for them, yeah, that's why they feel premier, because they don't have like any quote unquote misses. Like everything they've done since Shovel Knight 1 hasn't been as big as Shovel Knight as just a self-contained project, but they've all been great.
Yeah.
Like, all that DLC's been great, and Shovel Knight's popped up in other games, and even if those games are bad, it's like, can't fault them for, yeah, sure, have them in your game.
I'll say it's a big deal because they had Kratos and Battletoads in their game.
Yeah.
They wanted them in their game, and they got them.
Kratos
And
looks
Shovel
so cool.
Knight's in Smash Bros, man.
Yeah.
I think if you're listening to this podcast, it's
Yeah.
very likely that they feel premiere and a big deal, like you said. I don't, like, in terms of, like, the scale of something like Minecraft or maybe Grand Theft Auto 5, no, I don't think it's there. But I think of course they're in a
I think
wonderful
they're a
spot.
big deal for the scale of the company.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a
what's
good way to
confusing.
say it.
Yeah, because to be frank, there weren't a lot of live viewers on this presentation. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't crazy. If they did this during the Nintendo Indie World event a week prior, there would have been a lot more eyes on it. But I kind of respect them going out for their own thing, just talking to their audience directly, like having their own 11 minutes to themselves was kind of interesting.
Just with Cadence of Hyrule this year and how great that was, if I was somebody in charge of a legendary 2D franchise, like I would seriously think about Yacht Club games. Like I just don't know why that can't happen. I don't know. There's a lot of things that they could do.
If I was Capcom, I'd just have them make a Mega Man game.
Please.
Yeah,
make a new
absolutely.
Mega Man game.
Make X.
Yeah.
Bring X back. Yeah, because I think, Jones, I think Shovel Knight 2 is super far out because of
So
Shovel
far
Knight
out.
Dig.
So
I think
far
Shovel
out.
Knight
Oh,
Dig
yeah.
is
No,
basically
that-
saying we're done with Shovel Knight for a while. We're
Everything
going to
they
let other
announced,
people
yeah.
touch them. Because King of Cards has been in development for 2 years.
A long time.
It's itself. This is just DLC. They're still just owning up to the DLC that the Kickstarter promised, which is crazy. But they'll finally be done in December when all the stuff is done. And they'll be done with that project. They'll have owned up to everything they promised. And I think their next project hopefully will be something other than Shovel Knight, even though it's a very strong character.
Yeah, I mean, I just want them to make whatever they want to make. If they want to make Shovel Knight 2, I want them to make it.
Yeah.
But if they want to do something else, yeah.
Because it feels like they can do anything.
Yeah, that's how it
That's
feels.
what it feels
totally.
like. Yeah.
But we were just talking about SteamWorld Dig, and like I got the same vibes from Shovel Knight. That was my Comic-Con game. I played it on the train down from Comic-Con and the train back. Done.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So like if 2 got announced, it'd be like, I am for sure, there's no question I'm playing that. And I think that's kind of what's interesting about a company like Yacht Club in the position that they're in, because like you were saying, it's not a GTA 5, it's not a Minecraft, but like these are big games that none of us have time to play. We really got to be careful, each month, kind of like, what am I really going to invest time in? But it's like everybody's got time for Shovel Knight. It's
enough,
like
yeah.
Jello, man. Just
You make time, baby.
yeah.
I should also
Front
say
property to work on.
they're also like a publisher now. They are publishing Cyber Shadow, a NES-looking ninja game that just looks really cool. And so, yeah, I think that they've made a lot of money off of Shovel Knight. I think that's clear.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're definitely of the upper echelon of indie developers just off one game, which I think is very impressive. I think they've just done as well as they could have with
Yeah,
Shovel
they've been
Knight.
doing a great job.
And what's so crazy is the wrong way to phrase it, but like Shovel Knight shows up all over the place. Like there's so many indie games where he appears up. Shovel Knight has his own amiibo. Like you're talking about them publishing this game. All of it, everything, I'm just like, yeah, they earned that. Like everything is really just based on the quality of the thing that they created. There's nothing about it that feels like it's cutting any corners or feels short-sighted. Like it's just this like really intense labor has caused them to gain this amount of respect. And you're like, yeah, that's how the world should work.
Yeah. He's in ukulele.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, hey.
You know what I think? You know what I think of though? I mean, he's in Bloodstained. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Really.
That one. Shoot, I don't know like when this research happened, what the survey was. I probably just heard about it on the radio or something. This idea that movie lines are remembered more when they are referenced in other movies. It's why we remember it as Luke, I am your father. You know, that's not what is blurted out, but that's what's referenced. And so I honestly think that Shovel Knight appearing in other games has made him way stronger as a franchise than like just being in his original game. More people see him in other games and like think, oh, he's a big deal. And I just think that's so weird is the idea of movies referencing other movies is what makes those lines, what makes those movies more solidified in our minds. And I think Shovel Knight has that sort of effect as well.
Yeah, I think another effect that it has that's really smart is every time I see Shovel Knight in another game, I just am immediately like, boy, I would really love some new Shovel Knight. So it just keeps that hunger right there, right in the center of your mind.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's crazy. Jones, he's like not that deep in. It's just like an enemy that looks like Shovel Knight is in Bloodstained.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's like
But
way
I-
bigger.
It's not like he's a boss or something.
but it's unmissable. Like
It is
I haven't
unmissable.
I haven't
You
already
won't
like
miss
gone
him.
past him and
You won't
been
miss him.
like if I look at him a second time, oh, I see what you mean.
Nah, you can
It's
even get his shovel, dude. You can use the shovel as a weapon.
so many weapons in that game.
Yeah.
Good game.
Bloodstained's a really good
It
game.
is a
It is.
really good game.
love that
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, so next story comes with like a please don't get excited. The headline was like please get excited, and then I feel like 20 minutes afterward it's like okay, everybody cool off.
Which I'm sorry, not to. This relates, but I think that's why Shovel Knight did their own event because they show up at Indies and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" And you see Yakuza games. Oh my God, here we go. And it's like, no, it's an offshoot. Like, oh. Whereas if they do their own event, expectations are a little bit lower.
Oh, you think for Dig?
I think
mean?
I think you save that in Indie. You save that direct ticket for Shovel Knight 2.
Gotcha.
That's when you come back.
Yeah.
Punch the direct ticket.
Yeah, and it's weird. I mean, like they called it the reveal of King of Cards, but like that game that's been revealed for a while. Yeah, and then to be honest with you, I'm a little disappointed. It's still just December. It's like
No
you need
solid date.
You need a date on that. You should really know what the date is at this point, or else don't say it. But I guess they really wanted pre-orders. Oh, because Treasure Trove, the collection of everything Shovel Knight, will be getting a retail release.
Wait, isn't it the one with Spectre Knight Treasure Trove?
Yes, so they're like we're re-releasing
Super Treasure Trove.
You won't have to download anything, right? So
yeah.
all of it will be on that Switch cart or
same name
PlayStation
now.
4
Okay.
disc. Yep, and I believe it's just straight up called Shovel Knight Treasure Trove.
Okay.
Okay, so Telltale's back.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Telltale is kind of back.
Kinda.
Don't get excited. Don't get excited. Jones, wait. So what happened is this company called LCG Entertainment purchased the assets of Telltale. So they'll be able to call themselves Telltale Games. They also have the game licenses for the Batman Telltale games and The Wolf Among Us and Puzzle Agent, which I totally forgot about. Even when we went down every single game Telltale had, when we went through their entire history, forgot about Puzzle Agent, which is an original Telltale game, one of their only non-licensed games. Walking Dead is out. They can't touch that anymore. So that was a weird thing that happened this week. So some wealthy business people said, we'll take those licenses, we'll buy Telltale. Even more like, hey, don't get too excited. I got to read some things before we get too deep into this conversation. So they are willing. Some workers from the original Telltale games will be offered freelance roles with full-time positions possible in the future. Polygon had the scoop on this, by the way, and like really just wrote everything out. Who interviewed the two new co-owners of Telltale? What a strange thing to say.
What? Yeah. Why? Why not just give them their jobs back?
Yeah, I think because you don't have the money quite. Like, what's clear to me through this article, and I'll read another quote from it, is they recognize there's a reason Telltale went out of business. They're trying not to do that, but they think there's a way to make money from those types of games.
They're just playing it slow right now.
Playing it real slow
That
right
kind
now,
of
yeah.
language is hard to get excited about.
Yeah. In fact, let me read that. Let me read that right now. So Polygon interviewed Jamie Audley, who's one of the new studio co-heads. All right, so here's what they said. The revived the Telltale games will be based in Malibu, California. Very cheap to work there. Like what? What?
Gotta have that beach view, baby.
You must be a billionaire, right? For it to be like, hey, let's just put it here. You know, like, let's just do it here. People will move here, right? It's like, what? Okay, so that's where the studio's gonna be. Okay, so here's what he said. We're going to stay small over the next 6 months, and we will work for more of a distributed development pipeline than Telltale was known for. We'll focus on tools, technology, and design in-house. Some things like animation and motion capture will be done with the right partnerships externally. So they are looking at this a little differently. Because, I mean, Telltale closed because of their crazy crunch. Just they were taking on too many projects at once without really improving the game's engine too much. So it looks like they are at least assessing what went wrong there, and as Brad said, taking it slow at the start. I'm just not too encouraged by this news.
Yeah, it's a weird handoff.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it works out. Like, it's not the ideal situation to me at all, but they're making an effort. Will it pay off? I don't know, but I'm hopeful that it will pay off for them. Like hopefully whatever they make is great and they can hire their people again, like full time. But who knows?
Did they announce this at all? Them, like that team, TLG or whatever.
Was it LCG?
LCG?
Yes.
They
I
announced
think-
it.
yes.
They kept, is this thing on? We just bought Telltale. So they wanted that attention.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then that's weird.
Oh, that this is what they're coming out and saying.
If that, yeah. If
Yeah.
you bought, if it's one thing if you bought it and like, Polygon or Kotaku was just like checking the receipts and they're like, oh wait, whoa, like look at this trademark thing happened.
Oh no, this is their coming out party. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird coming out party. Yeah. You come out with the project. You come out and you say, we are,
Batman's back, baby.
or something. Yeah. And that's strange. That could have been cheap. Batman, like.
I wonder, man. Yeah.
That seems like, I don't know. I'm very pessimistic about this, and so it helps me. It's hard not to think that like they got Batman not because they were like, ooh, season 3 really has a lot of potential. It's like, oh, Batman, take that, like
I know Batman.
Walking Dead, like you can't have that. Oh,
bringing
cool,
Batman to Malibu.
like
Yeah. We've
like
seen
just
these
taking an
business
action
people
figure
before.
off
Yeah.
the shelf, but
Yeah.
like not,
But you want to be optimistic, right? Because
Yes,
because
of
there
course.
is there is magic there, and you just want
especially
to
Wolf
be able
Among Us,
to.
man. I think we got 2 really good Batman seasons, and like Wolf just was coming back,
Yeah.
and like. Yeah, that's a shame. So I hope that's
Yeah.
it. Like,
I'm kinda-
of all those things, I would definitely pull the trigger on Wolf
I'm
over anything
happy
else.
they were super transparent about their situation, so the expectations are set for this. Like you don't think Telltale is back as Telltale how you knew it.
Yes, they
Right.
did
You
do a good
know
job
what it
managing
is
that.
now, though. So I'm like as bad as it sounds, I'm happy I know the truth, though. Actually, if it is the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is so bad that it must be the truth.
Yeah.
Right. What I wanted to ask the panel is if we think that there really is still a place for Telltale-styled games.
That's what I was thinking, Kyle. Like I said, there is a magic at Telltale, but I just wonder how it would be received where, like, there's all this build-up, and they're like, okay, we're coming back, and it's like, man, this feels the same. Like, is that going to do it for people? Is that really going to move the needle in a way that it needs to be moved? Or do they need to have a different sort of presentation or delivery with this game? I don't know, because I think that was part of the problem, right? Is you would hear a new property, new Telltale game, and you're like, yeah, I know how that's gonna go, or
Yes.
at least that was what it felt like the perception was. So
It was especially for like Guardians of the Galaxy, it was like, oh, okay, this is exactly what I thought it would be.
yeah,
Yeah, and he had one other quote that was interesting later on in the article about how they still want to do episodes, but he said that he wants it to make it more bingeable, and I don't know what that means.
that is an executive.
Yes.
Yes.
And so what I assume it means is like have a lot done and then do maybe week by week by week,
I
as
see.
opposed to monthly or bi-monthly.
Or just like whenever.
Well,
it's
that
done.
was
Yeah.
also that's a good point, because that was another problem with Telltale is there would just be these huge gaps between episodes that really slowed down the momentum for whatever series they were trying to build up. So
Yeah, that could help hold interest for sure.
Right, I only played 2 Telltale games, Batman and Tales of the Borderlands. Both binged. Both just played them all the way through, and I love that. I think that is the way to play those games. And so I'm not opposed to that line of thinking, honestly.
Yeah, I think they want to just make sure like they have a schedule
Yes.
with their game.
I just don't love the idea of some suit going, is it bingeable? Like, that's just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it makes my skin crawl a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it,
that's all.
Is it bingeable?
To me, yeah. Well, to me, that's just business.
This
That's
smells
just
bingeable to me, I gotta
That's
be honest.
business talking
Hey,
with this.
It is, yes.
Now
it
listen,
is.
I could be crazy right now.
Yeah.
I feel like this is bingeable. I just think it would be so stone cold and so interesting to me, and something we would always remember, because we're gonna remember this 6 months from now when they announce something, or a year from now. We're gonna be like, yeah, what was that weird company that bought them? As opposed to, hey, we bought Telltale. What are you guys doing? We'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Oh, and like that's all we know. Like that to me is like that's electric versus like freelancers binge. But like this is just a lot of.
Oh, I think they're kind of recruiting, though.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to do that via the public airways.
Sure.
I think you're still.
I don't know
gonna
if you
get,
do public
I
airways.
think you're still going to get a lot of people
But
in this
like
business, a lot of talented people that.
Yeah, I'm
we'll
kind of like
find out through various channels.
Not in agreement with Jones
Fair.
on that. I like knowing what it is.
Yeah.
Like I don't like want to be anticipating something
Sure.
to be just let down by an eventual. Like
But-
having an idea of what it is more so sounds more. It's better for me as like if I was interested in these games, knowing what the future could realistically be.
Yeah, Jones, at least this wasn't like a trailer, right? At least they didn't make a video.
Sure, some documentary of them and like
Yeah.
walking around the office in slow motion.
Their Malibu office. Yeah, just
Looking at the ocean.
And they didn't go, guess who's back?
You see Wolf Among Us, like Bigby, like on the sunset.
like pointing at pictures of Batman, just like bingeable.
Well, you talked about this kind of feeling like some sort of recruitment call.
Yeah.
Like from somebody that could be hired by Telltale. Like how attractive does this look to you? I mean, like what? If you were prospective talent, I guess, and you looked at this situation, does this seem like a secure enough place that you'd want to invest into it? I don't know.
No, but also there's been many points in my life where I'm like, man, I'll just take that job.
Sure,
you
sure,
know,
sure.
and I think that's who they're going to end up hiring. Just like, oh, fine.
Yeah, aren't a lot of games like that though? They just hire people on for a project, then they move on.
Yes. Yeah, I think Telltale previously had just like the crew, and you know they did have people consistently working always. But yeah, a lot of games just staff up per game.
You know what would be a hype announcement involving this is if they had just said like, hey, we bought Telltale and we're gonna make the games not buggy and have a good engine.
I think they're kind of saying that.
I hope so.
Yeah, when they say like we're
definitely what they're
focused
going
on
for.
development tools.
Yeah, like or like I don't know why they don't just say like we're gonna use Unreal Engine or Unity or you know. I don't know.
It sounds real early to me.
Yeah,
and they don't know
I
yet.
think they're just
Yeah,
not at
yeah,
that point
yeah.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah, but we got 6 months until we think we hear that announcement. But you're right. Honestly, if they just use Unreal, I have confidence they can put the episodes out consistently.
Isn't that crazy? Just with the way things have gone down and kind of the horror stories that you hear with certain engines, when you hear somebody say, "Yeah, we're going to use Unreal," it's just like, all right, don't have to worry about that.
Yes.
It'll come out.
Man, like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I think Kingdom Hearts is probably my first thinking of that. Just like, oh, you're going to get it done.
Yeah. Definitely.
Felt good. We'll see. Could you all hear that? Oh, it sounds like it's podcast halftime.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of August. Car Keys Express. If you need a replacement car key or a remote, check out carkeysexpress.com/store. Use the coupon code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. They are proud sponsors of Easy Allies. Our gifted sponsor is SOS Children's Villages. Children are at the heart of everything SOS Children's Villages does, regardless of where they are in the world. SOS Children's Villages is the largest non-governmental organization dedicated to the long-term care of orphaned and abandoned children across the globe. For more information and to donate, the link is in the description. Hoag Law, business law firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side, or at least that Good Business Lawyers YouTube and podcast series, Virtual Legality. Check it all out at youtube.com/HOEG Law or on your favorite podcast service. El Fanis. And our mega sponsor, ViewSonic. It goes without saying that gaming relies on fast reaction times, and if you're often finding yourself on the losing end of those nail-biting standoffs, the problem might not be your performance, it might be your monitors. With ViewSonic Elite's expansive line of gaming monitors, users are delivered the performance modern gaming requires. Take the 24-inch XG240R with its blazing fast 144 Hz refresh rate and 1 millisecond response time, you'll experience the hyper-responsiveness of esports pros. And with the XG240R's fully customizable RGB backlighting, users can sync to partnered hardware to illuminate their gaming atmosphere. Learn more about ViewSonic Elite by visiting viewsonic.com/elite. And for giveaways and updates, follow ViewSonic Gaming on social media. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
When ViewSonic starts talking about performance, I get all jumbled. I get nervous. They're like, check out the performance here. And it's like, I can't mess this up. 144 hertz.
How many Hirsch on this?
They're talking about it. You're going to Hirsch.
He's super. This was so every time the remaster is announced, it usually doesn't make it to the podcast. It's a dime a dozen remasters these days, you know? This is a shocking announcement. So, we got a scoop out of the GameStop convention.
Oh.
This is where
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
This is where GameStop managers and employees gather to learn about new releases, see some trailers for upcoming games so they all know how to answer questions from people who want to pre-order things. And a game was announced there on that stage. The Lion King and Aladdin remastered.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just not the Super Nintendo Aladdin, right?
You betcha.
Not
No
the Super
Super
Nintendo. So
Nintendo,
yeah,
yeah.
let me run down because everybody's like, "Ooh, baby!" Let me run down exactly what this is before we get too far into it. This is the Genesis, Game Boy, and Super Game Boy releases for both Aladdin and Lion King, and there will be the Super Nintendo version of the Lion King, but not the Super Nintendo version of Aladdin, which many
Capcom.
people still swear by, which is the
Capcom.
Capcom one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up with the Genesis Aladdin.
Yeah.
That's what I know. So.
Yeah.
I think they're a 50-50 split. I was definitely a Super Nintendo guy on everything,
Yeah.
at that time. But like looking back, I went back and played the Genesis version. It's a lot harder, which I like. And obviously just is doing way more, like Donkey Kong Country, the Super NES was just doing way more interesting things visually. But but it still is half of I know a whole piece. I think it's surprising that I had to watch the trailer a couple times. I was like, is that no? It's not in there.
I have very little patience for the tribalism between those two versions. You know what I mean? The people who get indignant
Yeah.
about one being better than the other. It's like, come on.
The
dude,
Super Nintendo's my
please.
favorite, but that doesn't mean because the Genesis version's
People are
bad. The Genesis
people are
version's
ver-
amazing.
Very
Like,
bored.
Yeah.
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 They're different enough.
So this is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
You know-
By the way, Yakuza, that's still PS4 only. I never even brought that up because it seems like a given at this point. But presumably will come to PC eventually much later.
Sometime, yeah.
But yeah, at launch, PS4 only.
I'm actually curious about The Lion King because I had The Lion King growing up as well, and I remember I kept trying to give it a chance, and it never really clicked with me. There's some level of nostalgia there for sure. I didn't absolutely hate it, but it was never a game that really resonated with me.
Ben, let me reassure you, I don't remember too fond of memories with it.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's a bad game.
Okay.
And what sucks is seeing Disney Adventures, having this weird little magazine that they sell at grocery stores, and getting so excited to play the world of the Lion King, sit there with your friend, and then die in the first level over and over all day.
Yeah, it was a hard.
It's
that's
super
what I remember
hard,
from it.
too.
Yeah, how brutally hard it was.
They did these two games because
Jumping
there's the
off the
movies,
noses
right?
of the
live
giraffes.
action movies.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Yes.
year.
They both came out this year. Yeah.
Those two properties were 2019.
Jones, which of these two movies did you watch?
Oh, neither. I'm not.
Okay,
didn't
yeah,
see Mary
yeah.
Poppins. Or, get out of here with all
Didn't
this.
see any either.
I saw Lion
Tempted to
King.
see Aladdin though. I heard actually interesting things about Aladdin.
I like it.
I heard it was terrible.
And Mulan looks awesome. Mulan is
Ooh,
the
we got a
first
trailer
one
for
of these
Mulan?
that I'm like, yes. Because there's no Mushu, they're not doing any, it's not a musical. It's literally the story of Mulan. It's actually based on the legend that the original animated movie was based on. But
Nice.
they Disneyed it.
No.
So it's still going to be Disneyed, but they're focusing a little bit more on the actual lore.
So Ian, I'll need you to chime in on Lion King, but Aladdin is just they did exactly Aladdin. They just did exactly the movie with the same songs except for one additional song.
Man,
For this new live
just is
action.
not
Yes.
exciting to me. I can't get hyped about that.
I could write
Yeah.
a thesis on it, Ben. I could
And,
I could do a college course.
Robin Williams as Genie is great.
Legendary.
Yes.
It is legendary.
But basically, Will Smith as Genie is so weird because it's not really using his personality. It's what if Will Smith was a Robin Williams Genie?
Oh, same kind of vibe.
And you're telling me
Not as
you
good.
loved this?
I didn't
'Cause
love it.
Okay.
I like it
saw
though.
it.
What's up?
But you saw it.
I saw it.
Just by yourself.
Because everything
I'm
you're
not by myself, please.
everything you're saying is just.
Ian, so what did they do with Lion King?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. They added a song, Beyonce, and
I don't know.
she's in it. She's Nala.
She writes songs,
When does she sing? In the middle or
I want to say it's when they're walking back.
so after Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Yeah.
Got it.
It's it's the Act 2, Act 3 break, I think, if I remember properly. They modernized it a little bit. Some of the jokes are pretty funny.
Ooh.
Timon and Pumbaa were pretty funny. They did add a little bit toward the front to make Mufasa and Simba's relationship a little more palpable, I think. I mean, it's been a hot minute since I saw the animated, but I didn't hate it. I went in not expecting, and I was there. I had fun. Timon and Pumbaa were pretty funny. There's a part where I think it's Billy Eichner is doing the voice of Timon, and he says to Simba, he just goes, "Simba, let me break this down for you. Life is meaningless." And I was just like, "Yeah, Timon."
That's Hakuna Matata,
It was
dude.
really
Yeah.
funny, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, it wasn't bad.
I mean, what's hard for me is obviously childhood is a big part of it, but at the time it felt like Aladdin and Lion King were best in class. Look at these animated marvels.
Oscar nominated.
Right. Just these legendary movies. And if you're walking into a theater being yeah, it was all right, to me, that's just as bad as being like it was terrible.
I hear what you're saying.
You
I
know,
hear you,
like
yeah.
if you're going to do it for these movies that meant so much to so many people, like it really, I think it has to kind of evoke that same feeling of wonder.
I think you'll get correct on that. It was just Beauty and the Beast.
It was Beauty and the Beast.
Best
it was.
picture. That was
yeah.
nice. I mean, now they have animated, so that, you know,
Yeah.
every animated film, like, you get it. Life's The Secret Life of Pets 2, you get an Oscar. Like,
But it was because of Beauty and the Beast.
well, yeah.
And then people got mad, and then I think they introduced
down
Best
the road. I don't know.
Animated like immediately after that.
I don't know when that happened.
Do we have a favorite Disney animated movie from the crew?
I mean, Pinocchio was my jam growing up. It's flawed for sure, but
Stop it.
but Pinocchio, that was just my movie. That was the bubble VHS tape that I just popped in like a bunch of times.
It has flaws. You
There's
just say
somebody
Pinocchio. It's
pointed out
fine.
one thing about Pinocchio, and I was like, "Whoa, why'd you tell me that?"
Why? What's wrong?
Pinocchio's got some deeply messed up stuff.
Pinocchio,
Oh,
Pinocchio spends 15 minutes of the film underwater, just walking around, just monstro, like walking around.
That's not 15 minutes.
And then he's like in the whale, and then like a wave crashes, and he's dead. You're like, what happened? Like he's breathing underwater. Why is he? They just go out and he's like, I guess he died swimming. It's like, what? It was kind of that old classic Disney like, and then that happened. You're like, why? It's like not important. Anyway, the story. You know.
Can you do the monstro?
I've seen that movie a lot, many times.
I like Emperor's New Groove.
That one's
So
great.
Ian, like me too. Like it's not like an animation showpiece, but just it's so funny
It's
still.
So
Dude.
good, dude.
Yes.
Kronk.
Yeah, like what I love, they're funny characters
go.
without. It's not all joke driven. You know, it's just funny characters. It's like
Yeah.
character driven. It's just
a
so
perfect
good.
film. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it's good. Brad.
Peter Pan.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Do you guys remember Sword in the Stone?
Yes.
Of course.
I feel like
I
I
do.
One of the coolest wizard
I
battles
really
of all time.
liked Sword in the Stone a lot.
I love it.
Or Magic
Yeah.
Battle.
Alice in Wonderland's good. Aladdin, obviously.
I do like.
Oh,
It's funny. We're
man.
not talking about these games
Alice
at
in
all.
Wonderland.
I
Yes.
do like that. Disney Plus kind of makes me happy because it's like I was like, oh man, for the next 5 years, every year is gonna be like Oliver Company movie, and then it's like, oh god, like, and I love that like Lady and the Tramp's just coming to Disney Plus. Like they're kind of like rushing through them now.
Oh,
They're
the
like,
live action stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're just like, okay, well, that won't be in theaters. We'll just put that on Disney Plus. It's like, okay, like, at least we'll be through this phase quicker than I thought we were.
By the way, I love Oliver and Company.
It's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, do you really
The
believe that?
Rescuers. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff.
I thought you'd be
that I
one
would
of those
rather
Disney
them
people.
do instead of like
Rescuers.
a bad Dumbo and
Jones,
stuff.
I was so scared you're one of the Disney people who was just like, it's not very good. And it's like, that's awesome, man.
Oh, at Oliver and Company?
Yeah.
Oh, music. That's
Billy Joel in
Joel?
there? Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Let
Ben,
me take off this hoodie.
Before we talk about
In one of our studios?
yes, somebody call Bloodworth and tell him I'm sweating.
Bloodworth must have touched the thermostat.
Dude, you start talking about Oliver and Company. That raises
Oh,
the
yes,
that raises the
man.
temperature.
You know what made me mad? I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
So, when you get sweaty, and we will talk about this video game, when you get sweaty, you get gross, right? When you
sure.
get cold, you're not gross.
Yeah,
So I think it should always default to the people who are hot to control the temperature.
Thank you.
Because you're not getting. If you're cold, you're
Thank
uncomfortable,
you.
but you're also not getting gross.
Thank you, Kyle.
You know?
But
As
you're not
someone whose
shaky.
body temperature is 2 degrees lower on average
Yeah.
than all
This should
human
have come up
beings,
during Phase 4.
I'm
that's all saying.
constantly warm.
Yeah.
There was a time.
It's terrible.
It's
I
bad.
have,
You gotta wait till
I have
Phase
the
5.
AC blasting directly on me
Get a
right
personal fan.
During this podcast?
Yeah.
That'd be very funny.
Yes,
Just
it would be.
fanning
Yes.
yourself.
It's a bad bet right there.
It seems on bread.
Ben, your favorite Disney animated movie?
Aladdin.
Oh, okay, great.
Of this set, yeah, my
No,
definitely favorite.
of all time.
No, mine of all time is Aladdin. Yeah.
That's what I
Of
clarified.
which
Of
set?
the
What are you
the
talking
Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, like that box set, whatever that like when Disney Animation was gone
You
and
mean
then
the
they were
90s?
back.
You mean
like,
the good ones?
yeah, that run
Post
you know, like,
Oliver, like Little Mermaid forward, basically.
Oliver was the last. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of those.
Cool.
Aladdin. Sorry, not to.
I do really like
Conflict that.
Evermore, the original song for the live Beauty and the Beast. It's a really good song that they made for the live action movie.
I dare you
Yeah.
to sing it.
Forevermore. I don't remember the.
Good enough. That's
Exactly.
But they already wrote a song for the Broadway musical in
Not
the
a
same
hesitation
scene.
there. I
In the
respect
same
that.
scene.
Oh, so they could have just had the Broadway song?
They started that song, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do the song for the." No, they wrote a new one. Okay.
They got to try to win Oscars.
I know,
baby.
I know.
That's all they're trying
I didn't
to
even
do.
think about it. I think you told me that, Ian. I was like, "Oh, that
Yeah,
makes so much
they
sense."
always have to do a new
write a new song.
to make
Even
an
Lion
Oscar.
King, they have a Broadway musical, and they're like,
Yeah.
"No, not those songs. This new movie one."
I bet Aladdin. I bet they're gonna win one for that song.
I do respect. No, it's not very good.
Oh.
Oh wait, the Aladdin one? I don't know.
Yeah.
The
Have you-
Lion King one is not very good.
It's been such a long time that I've seen it that I'm even struggling to remember on the name. But I think it was The Great Mouse Detective.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
that?
that's
I feel like
that's
that
Huber's
movie.
favorite.
Yeah, I feel like that movie is super underappreciated, and
It's really good.
it's really good.
I promise I'll let you move on, but I do really respect the super bold choice in the live action Beauty and the Beast in casting actors who couldn't sing.
Oh man, that's a whole nother thing.
Like when that movie started, I was seeing it with my friend Sarah.
Oh, okay.
Emma Watson starts singing, and it's just auto-tuned so obviously. We both just like looked at each other like, "Oh God."
Aladdin.
though.
Aladdin starts with Will Smith singing, and you just melt in your seat with discomfort.
Wait, does he rap in it?
No, he's
Why?
like Arabian Night. Will, no. It's just like he's just singing to his children. It's just like, step back and look at me. It's like, you're bad. It should have been a rap song. Okay.
No.
Jones, it should have been.
Yo, listen to me when I do
Yes.
That'd be way better.
Yes.
Oh man, he's so funny.
Because the genie is Robin Williams, the genie should have been Will Smith all the same. Okay, all right. You know what?
All right.
There was a game announced this week. Remaster of The Lion King Aladdin. So there's actually a lot of cool things and why I plucked this out. So
The Game Boy versions are fun. I love that.
Yeah,
That's great.
Also, I think it's kind of cheap to say like, and also the Super Game Boy versions. It's the same with color.
Hey,
Hey, okay, here's what's cool about this. Well, one, I just thought it'd be gone forever, these types of games.
Yeah.
Because they are licensed. Digital Eclipse is the people making this remaster happening. And I didn't realize that they're the people behind all of this. So they did Mega Man Legacy Collection. They did the Disney Afternoon Collection, which had Rescue Rangers and Tailspin and one
Chip
other.
DuckTales 1 and 2, and Chip
And
and
the
Dale's.
two DuckTales games. Yeah.
Chip and Dale's on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. They did that just last year, and also the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection. So this is the company that does this.
They did a lot of Capcom ones, and Capcom's
Yes.
not on this.
That is funny. Yeah, something fell apart there. Yeah, because this is published by Disney.
I wonder if that's a fun company. Like, do they have crunch? They can't. You know, like
What?
Is that?
Are you saying
is
this is
the
easy,
politics
Jones?
bad? Or not easy, but you know, it's like you're. When the games come in, they're good games. You know, like you get to work on these projects. I don't know. I'm curious what that's like. You know, because that's got to be different from like the God of War team. Like that's kind of just a different vibe in that office.
And at this point, they probably have a good idea of what it takes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of when we can get this done in 8 months or 2 years.
I wonder what
Yeah.
the turnover is with developers. I wonder if that's a company you work for as a launch pad to maybe be someplace else, or if you're like, I love this. I'm like going back and playing all these, making all these games great, from my childhood.
And that's the thing is that, we'll talk about making them great too, is I think that I'm grateful for this company.
Sure,
me too.
absolutely, yeah.
So what they're adding to this, save states will be there, rewind, and then this new thing called watch mode.
Which is cool.
So you can just go into watch mode and just watch the character be awesome in the game, do the platforming
someone,
for
like,
you.
beats it?
Yeah. And then once they're past that part, you can take controls right back.
Really?
Yes.
Crazy.
This is your older brother being awesome right there next to you.
This is the I have gotten worse mode.
Or like, this game's like Lion King. I hate this.
yeah.
Man,
just
games
do it for me. Just go. And then it
games are
does.
hard.
Yeah. And then you can fast forward. You can skip to any point in the game.
God, we should
too.
do a stream where we just watch like
Yes.
That's a really
That
good
would be
idea.
really
Me just
funny.
curious in the background.
really
Yeah.
funny.
Play it. Yeah. I'd love to, I love this because these are just stupid hard games.
Yeah.
This kind of thing, hey, if you want to play it as it was, you totally can. If you want to use save states, you can. If you want to rewind, you can. It's just like these options are incredible, I think, for just the game's preservation, for making it relevant today, for making it just something that is anybody can hop into today. But beyond that, other really cool things. So Final cut of Aladdin, I don't know quite what that means, but I guess there'll be more stuff in the game.
Oh.
But also a trade show demo.
Yeah.
Not made public since 1993 for Aladdin as well.
How did that survive?
So cool.
Yeah,
that is neat.
I need more of this.
How was that around?
Yeah.
Where was that?
I mean, they're backed up. I mean,
On
like
somebody's
Mike
computer
Weisner's
somewhere?
house, dude.
Yeah, like
mostly
crazy.
ROMs. Like I'm sure there's a ROM of it, dude, and
Sure.
so that's how this stuff get ripped and put online.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that's where they got it, but I would love this for any game.
Yes.
You know, the Halo 2 Earth demo, like release that.
Yeah.
Find a way, right?
Do it.
that's incredible to just if an E3, if a beta version of a game is available, we'd love to see it. Warts and all. I think it's so cool to put that on this thing. And then they do have videos and behind the scenes and concept art for these games too.
Yeah.
I just love this kind of package. It'll be $30 coming this fall. That's cool. That's cool to me.
It's a really good trend, like Star Fox 2 on the SNES Classic. It's just like, it's so nice that when they package these things together, they kind of look at it like, what else can we do? Something.
Yes. Yeah.
Even if it's bad, even if it's buggy and broken and weird, if we're making history, like that'll definitely turn some heads.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm really encouraged by this. I'm excited to see where else they go with this kind of thing. This announcement came out of nowhere. Presumably, if Disney likes it, they'll be willing to do more.
Dude, Toy Story 1 and 2 pack. And 3.
That'd be dope.
3 completely different games.
Yeah, man. Toy Story 3, I'm on record saying that's a really good game. Toy Story 2, though,
Dude, Toy Story
so
2,
good.
the pinnacle. The pinnacle. Like,
And
we're not
imagine
even
this,
kidding.
imagine this kind of thing where it's like we got the PS1 version, we got the N64 version, we got the Dreamcast version. Go nuts. Whichever one you want to play, it's
Yeah.
on here. It's on the disc.
Kyle, based on the enthusiasm in your voice, I feel like
Yeah.
you already bought it.
Yes. You got my money. Man.
Preloading right now.
Because what other like Disney games need to be? I mean, these are probably the top two. They're starting with the big ones that need to be made. Like what other Disney games?
Quack shot.
Oh, like the weird like,
Quack shot.
Yeah. What I play like the Miami Mallard?
Oh, I want all
There are a
Oh
bunch
yeah,
of, like,
yeah, I know.
weird-
Yeah, that's the yes. I know
Yes.
exactly what you're talking
the
about.
Magical
Yeah, yeah.
Quest games, dude. Mickey's Magical Quest 1 and 2.
Sure,
Capcom
yeah.
joints.
I'd kill for just a classic Batman collection. Just 89,
talking
Return of the
Disney,
Joker.
Jones.
We're talking
animated
Disney,
series.
but I love this pack.
Calm down.
What's great
Yes.
is like we were talking Disney and Jones was like right there with us, but in a totally different place.
Because I was thinking about this company. It's just crazy, and when you first announced it, that was the first thought that jumped to my mind. It's like, what's left? Like, what's left really from the NES
Batman.
era that you can package?
Yes.
That isn't like, that's not owned directly by these companies, and they might stop it and be like, no, or Nintendo, and they're like,
Yeah, that's fair because this is the kind of stuff that never showed up on the virtual console, that never shows up on the minis. It's
Yeah.
just because of the licensing issues, but they find a way to make these work out. And so yeah, Batman's fine. I love that suggestion.
cool. I thought of Batman because we're at the bottom of the barrel now. It's a great barrel, but I mean, there's not a lot left.
Oh, there's
to
Oh,
pay
wow.
this
Star
stuff, I
Wars
think.
games, man. There's so many. Give me all 3 Super Star Wars games. We got one.
Didn't they re-release
Did they
those?
just do Super Star Wars in the
Yeah.
PS4 and
Just
not the other
one.
two?
Just one.
Okay.
That's absurd.
yeah, that is I
Yeah.
guess absurd. But I mean, like that game is brutal. It would
Yeah.
need all.
Yeah.
If it has watch mode,
Throwing on the bells and whistles.
watch mode. on
That
it.
was a Battlefront thing. That was like a Battlefront packaging or
If
something.
you
right?
pre-ordered or something,
I think you could just buy it separate.
But it came out at that time,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I imagine that was part of the meeting. Like,
That's
yeah,
right.
Give me
That's
Shadow of
right.
the Empire back.
Yeah. Exciting. Keep going.
Shadow and Switch. I played.
Dash Rendar, baby.
Let's touch on these two things too. Yeah, it's worth touching on. I don't want to talk about this too long. The Overwatch Switch case. So Wario64, Twitter legend, internet legend, found on Amazon a Switch case for the Nintendo Switch, official, from Power A, that is emblazoned with the Overwatch logo.
That guy is plugged into the Matrix.
Yes.
yeah.
Like, how does he do it? How does he do it? I really don't know.
He sees the code, man.
It's like instantaneous.
This price changed at Walmart.
Everything.
What?
Yeah, and you know what I think it is? I think what his special talent is we all get all this information, is finding the important parts.
Yeah.
The filter is what's important. Just being able to like see the things that
And
are
they
actually
probably
interesting.
have like
Bend the
100
spoon, man.
Google alerts.
Yes.
It's a beautiful mind, you know?
everything.
Yeah. But anyway, it was, obviously Overwatch is not on Switch. This product was taken down from Amazon quickly after this tweet got some traction. Overwatch is coming to Switch.
Overwatch is coming to Switch.
BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretend to be excited. It's just happening.
It's the retailers, man.
Yeah.
we were talking about this after the Fire Emblem spoiler mode, or before the Fire Emblem spoiler mode, but there's going to be Nintendo skins.
Oh, they'll let Blizzard do that. Yeah.
There's going to be
Of course
Nintendo
there will be.
skins.
Wow.
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
though, right?
You're
no.
right.
Yeah,
Oh, of course.
No, but yes, though.
Because Diablo had Nintendo skins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Skyrim had Nintendo skins.
Like, why? Why not? Why not?
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Why not? That is something they
Dude.
will do.
Doomfist could just be Ganondorf. That'd be sick. Because he just punches everything too, baby.
Can you imagine if they come out the gate with a skin for every character, where they just full reskin? That'd be nuts.
That I think they want. It'll just be like
It'll
Tracer and
Hanzo-
Widowmaker.
Hanzo could be
Hanzo.
Pit.
Yeah.
Tracer is going to be Link.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
That would be
should Link.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
I can't like make strong connections with anyone else. They all have guns.
Yeah.
All the
Roadhog is going to be Wario.
Wow.
Dude.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Wario.
Thought about this.
Winston could be Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
He's a gorilla.
Junkrat is Waluigi.
Yeah, that's their buddies, right? Yeah. Okay. You know what?
We made it.
It is happening. Whew. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm never tempted to say like a port is big news. I think they think that will be a big news, and it's simply what like they thought
mean-
Diablo would be a huge deal. It's like okay.
Kyle, it's one of those things where we go like, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that sold a bazillion units.
Oh, it will.
You know, you're going to have that follow
Yeah,
up.
but it's
Yeah.
like Overwatch is an online multiplayer game, and a lot of people are just playing their Switch on the go somewhere.
Do you know what else is online multiplayer? Fortnite. Does really well on the Switch.
That's true, I guess.
Case closed, dude. That was it, man.
To me, like Switch Overwatch will be by far the most inferior version, by
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. But
Blizzard's really good at scaling though. Like
Yeah, of
it'll
course.
Run fine.
But like
yeah.
a game that's all about like online teamwork, I think on Switch, like how many people are gonna be on their Switch app yelling at each other?
oh,
No one.
are
That's
they gonna?
who.
I mean, they'll probably like turn it off, man.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna be like that for a lot of people. I think it's just gonna be like, I like Overwatch, and when I can, I'll like
Play in
pop
bed.
in for a game. I'll
Yeah.
do quick players. I don't think the pitch is like, this is my new way to play Overwatch. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think that.
And like Ben says, Fortnite works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People play it.
I mean, people play Fortnite on everything.
People
Yeah.
play Fortnite on their phones.
Took a long time. I wonder if something else, some other mode's going to be announced or something along with it.
I think Overwatch 2 is just coming instead. You're gonna get that.
I wonder if that's gonna be a 1-2 punch.
Maybe.
You think at BlizzCon this year we're talking Overwatch 2?
So this BlizzCon needs to be a lot better than last year.
Yes.
So they need something like Diablo 4, pretty much a guarantee it has to be there. Like you have to show that. Overwatch might be time.
Yeah, so what? When the StarCraft game was canceled, Kotaku said that Overwatch and Diablo are for sure in development. So yeah, we know they're coming, and there's still that Diablo mobile game that looked
Immortal,
good.
right.
Yes, that is probably going to get a lot of attention in November. But yeah, dudes, that would be exciting. An Overwatch sequel. It's weird. I don't know. It needs it, right? It used to be a headline when a new character is revealed for Overwatch. We just had a new character recently, and I totally forget.
Sigma.
I mean, that's just
Oh,
the nature.
right, it's the guy with bare feet.
Yeah, the gravity dude.
Yeah,
I
gravity.
feel like that's
Cool
just the nature
anime.
over time.
Yeah,
The game's
you're
like a couple years old now, man.
yeah.
A sequel to Overwatch is something I never even like contemplated.
Oh, totally.
I just thought they would just keep updating Overwatch forever.
We're talking.
That's
what I thought about
Activision
Destiny.
Blizzard
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
but
True,
nope.
true.
Yeah. It's now time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
Rufus had 2 weeks off and sounds good.
Nice. Good job,
Had some
Rufus.
tea.
Yes. We had that person write in, hey, I have a perfect pitch and Rufus doesn't sound good. Let us know if Rufus sounded great right there. By the way, keep an eye out for Project Resistance from Capcom. But not
Also,
too
if you
much
have
to talk about
perfect
there.
pitch, you want to come in and sing it for us, you know?
Yeah.
What? You mean to like talk about it briefly?
We can talk about it briefly, sure.
Dude, new Resident Evil game coming. I
Yes.
hope it's Outbreak.
So September 9th, we will see the reveal trailer for Project Resistance, Capcom's new
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
Resident Evil game. It looks multiplayer.
They showed like
basically-
4 characters, right?
Yeah.
Not intentionally.
I hope it's Outbreak.
Right.
So
One of them is
basically-
definitely in civvies. One
there
of them is
was
definitely
a-
just in like a t-shirt and a shotgun. Like,
Someone on Reddit basically ripped the thumbnails from the YouTube upload. So basically, you can, even though you can't watch a video, you can rip thumbs from a video that's like preloaded. Whoa. Yeah.
Crazy.
oh, I mean, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Creepy.
sure every PR person is now aware of this now. I'm like, oh, okay, we should never pre-upload a video ever
Which-
again.
I feel like if you are making a thing,
Yes.
It's scary.
you gotta unplug that Ethernet cable.
Yes.
You just gotta write
Until
that
you're ready
down
to go.
on pen and paper, and then
Yeah.
you gotta put it in a vault.
Don't upload early. Just don't do that. So what we did, we had 4 basically thumbs, like the YouTube generated thumbs. They show like 4 teenagers, but with like adult faces.
Oh, okay.
You know what I
didn't
mean?
see 'em. I thought they were
Yeah,
blurry,
yeah,
the
yeah.
ones they showed. I don't know.
Those
Yeah.
just wearing
I didn't
street
see 'em.
clothes, man. They're just casual.
That was
No,
the
like, one
best,
is like-
most colorful
they're
ways of
casual
describing
adults.
that.
One is like a Letterman jacket, dude. It's like a Letterman
Yeah, they
hoodie
have, like,
almost.
younger characters
He's proud
in
of
those.
his school.
But he's got a very adult. Like I think it's because RE Engine just looks too good. Mm-hmm. Like you can kind of pass it off before, but if a 30-year-old is walking in, like you're gonna see that that's a 30-year-old face. But yeah, I think the implication is we'll be playing like co-op, maybe PVE.
That's exactly what
Outbreak.
They look like. I just
Oh, I'd be
Googled
so
them.
down.
Yeah.
All that stream.
Maybe this is completely unwarranted, and I acknowledge that. But is there any worry that this is just a microtransaction riddle
Of
mess?
course.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, is it
Ben,
from the free-to-play thing? We got a custom.
course there
Oh
is.
yeah. You know what? I'm worried now.
Ben, it could just be bad, period.
Wesker will be
other
$500.
Aladdin's were Terrible.
Yes. Wesker will be very expensive. It's 4v1 and one gets to be Wesker.
Or just a skin.
Wesker
you know?
mode.
Wesker mode.
Man, these people do look like a early 2000s high school drama where everyone's clearly 40.
They're all Power Rangers, you know.
Yeah.
Looks good though, right? Like RE Engine just looks good.
Yeah, RE Engine is a good looking engine.
Yeah. But I mean, that's their faces.
Dante skins coming in.
But sad,
I'm not
sad I missed
opposed.
Outbreak 1 and 2. I've played them, but I didn't play them online. Or
Dude,
co-op with a human.
I did.
I
It was
know.
rough.
I know.
Yeah.
PS2,
But-
baby.
Clean it up. It's a good premise.
Let's switch back into love and respect mode. Okay, this man. Sometimes I see a game and we got to lead with it because this is incredible. Here we go. The Sims is a crazy game with Simlish and plume bombs. Plum bobs.
Plum bobs.
What is a plum bob?
It's the green thing above their head.
Oh, there's
but
a name for
also,
that.
like a plumber's tool and like that thing you can dangle to like whatever.
Oh, okay. But do you know what's crazier? The patch notes. Below is a list of statements with real patches from The Sims mixed in with ones we made up.
Excellent.
If it's real, say patch it. If it's fake, say scratch it. Actually, you just say real or fake.
This is
No, patch it and scratch
patch
it.
it,
It's
scratch
so
it,
good.
please.
that was the name of the game, right? But
Yeah.
okay, all right. If you want to say
Patch
patch,
it,
okay.
scratch
All
who
right,
thought of this? This is
They
amazing.
worked hard on that title.
Ryan and Cora is where this game comes from.
Well done.
All right, here we go. And to all the sticklers, I did use a random number generator to mix these up. Okay, so first one. Children will now be allowed to leave school during a werewolf attack.
Real.
Real.
Patch it.
Patch it. Patch it.
Patch it, patch it, patch it.
Scratch it.
No!
They're stuck at school. I
You know
guess.
what? They didn't check the most recent patch notes.
Yeah.
Toddlers can no longer brawl.
Patch it.
Patch it.
That's a scratch
I'm
it.
saying patch it for every single one. I'm just gonna
Let me do it. Let me do it.
That is why I like doing random
Fight
order,
babies.
right? Yeah, it's like prevented a case where toddlers were allowed to escape a lot and wander freely.
Patch it.
That
sounds
That's
patch it.
patch it,
Yeah,
right?
there we
Yeah.
go.
The
There.
case is
You
like-
got to get them eventually.
Yeah. The throw a teen party wish will no longer appear in houses after they are burned or broken.
That's patch it.
Patch it. Yeah, that's patch it.
That's
That's a
patch it.
scratch it.
Yay!
That's why I like this game is like, that's funny. You are a good writer if you just write that. It's so funny. All right. Ghosts will now properly exit vehicles after arriving at their destination.
I'd
Scratch
patch
it?
it.
Patch it. Scratch
That's
it.
patch it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's patch it.
I
That's
didn't know
real.
the ghost riding cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sure do. You can like have romantic relationships with like island spirits.
What?
Yeah,
Maybe I should go back to The Sims.
know.
Honestly,
There's no
after
time.
this game, heck yeah.
they're pretty dope.
The Murphy bed
real
has been
expensive.
made less lethal.
Please,
Scratch it.
Please
Scratch.
be real.
Scratch it.
Patch it. That's
Yeah.
real.
What is the what?
Doesn't go into specifics.
No, I don't
You
know.
know what I
the
mean.
Murphy bed is.
A
Yeah.
Murphy bed is one of those like 1920s beds that comes down out of the wall. Yeah.
Oh.
Do you
So it
work
would
on The
kill people
Sims?
if it would.
I just live. I've been alive since the 20s.
So if one Sim's dropped it and the other Sim was in, harm's way. Death.
Do we think this is like Final Fantasy XIV, where it'd be really expensive to hop into The Sims today?
Yes.
To get
It
all
was certainly
the-
true in the 90s when there was
Yeah.
like stacks of discs.
Do you know
had to
how
have,
expensive these things are and how
I'm
many
sure.
there are?
I'm sure this is not true for everybody, but for me, like, I just need a Sims hit. I don't need to like get everything.
I need these werewolves, man.
I saw someone tweet the other day. They're like, "Well, I'm playing The Sims again." So like, I think it is something you can leave and come back to, but I don't know.
Dude, they have expansions like Island Expedition, like
Yeah.
Indiana Jones
There's
style.
so
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I want
What's
to play
the
that.
weirdest Sims expansion?
I mean, Harry Potter's the last one they did.
They did
Not
Harry
re- not
Potter?
really,
Well,
but
it's
I mean,
magic.
in all
Gotcha.
but name.
But yeah, it's Harry Potter.
Wizards and Potters.
Fairy children will. Stop.
Scratch.
Scratch.
This is what we're talking about.
Scratch it.
Okay. Fairy children will no longer stretch into adult size when using the talk to plant interaction.
Scratch it.
Patch, that's real.
God dang it!
I love this game.
So fairy children
This
used
should just
to
be the segment. This should replace Love and
Can
Respect.
you imagine like showing up and being like, hey, did you get that fairy child adult stretching problem fixed?
Yes. So when a fairy child would talk to a plant previously, they would stretch into adult size as they're talking to
My fairy friend talked to a plant this morning. You want to know what happened? It stretched. I thought you were gonna fix that.
Oh, you don't think about that. You don't think all these things through. Okay. Sims that have been turned into a ghost will no longer receive an extra diploma.
Scratch it.
Patch it, dude.
Patch it. That's
Yeah.
I was gonna say scratch.
They would give
I
a
haven't
little
even
bonus
answered the last
diploma,
two.
apparently, man. That's so funny.
Double major.
Double major.
Kyle, in this game, there's like no logic you can follow
I know.
to win it.
They killed this. It's so funny. All right.
I did like the one we talked about the toddlers that said and walk around and stuff or something. It's like that extra language. Like yeah, there you go. That's why the lethal I thought was not in, but
Lethal
patch
made it.
Patch it.
Fixed an issue that could cause a teen to be trapped in a child's body when traveling to the future at the exact moment of a birthday.
Patch
Dude,
it.
patch
Scratch
it.
it.
Yeah, Jones, I love your confidence. It's patch it. Let me read that one more time.
What?
Fixed an issue that could cause a teen to be trapped in a child's body when traveling to the future at the exact moment of a birthday.
What? Okay, serious question.
That's when they grow up.
What do they have left to do in The Sims? Based on what you just read, there's no more expansions that they can make. They've done it.
Trapped in a child's body.
It's like a Disney movie.
And this is like time travel like theory, right? It's like, well, if you traveled on your birthday, would you not be trapped in a child's body?
Right.
All right, here we go. Werewolf children can now take showers.
Scratch it.
Scratch it. That's not really up. All right. Sims will no longer walk on water to interact with nearby mermaids.
Patch it.
Patch it. Patch it.
Scratch it.
Damn.
That's not right. That's not
There
right.
are mermaids. You can be a mermaid.
Ooh.
And
But
they
you gotta
are
pay.
hot.
Okay.
$20.
Aren't all Sims hot?
Yeah, well, you can make them pretty hot.
You haven't seen.
Are all Sims hot?
You can make some ugly Sims, dude. What are you talking about?
That's what I would do. Because in
Yeah.
the commercials, it's just like hot Sims.
yeah, just make a Freako house.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
And commercials
that I've
just hot
ever
everything.
looked at a Sim and been like, "That's hot."
The Sims is like a low-key sex game.
Ben, have you seen
I think it
like,
is, yeah.
the shop there, or like the thing that people make, like characters you could download, and there's just like hot guy, sexy guy, Adam Sandler, just like weird stuff like that.
That's
Sexy Adam Sandler.
I don't know.
Right,
Sexy Adam, yeah, there's sexy everything.
We were talking about Fire Emblem being thirsty. Like the
The
Sims,
Sims is thirsty,
and it
like
owns
in a
it.
desert.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It is probably the thirstiest game.
People have sex in the trailers. Like,
Yes.
it's-
Yeah,
there's-
that is a thirsty game. All right.
Top 10 thirsty games.
Sims will no longer receive a wish to skinny dip with mummies.
Scratch it.
Scratch
Patch
it.
it.
Scratch it. Scratch it.
Patch it. It's
Yeah.
real.
Damn it.
Damn, they. You did the random generator, but you teased us with 2 werewolf questions. So by
Yeah.
the time we get to mummies, it's like, nah.
Yeah.
Read that one again.
Sims will no longer receive a wish to skinny dip with mummies.
Why?
Skinny
Take,
dip
if
in
it's a
quotation
thirsty
marks,
game,
too,
why
yeah.
take that out?
Yeah.
I've been receiving that wish my whole life.
Maybe because the mummies can't reciprocate.
They can't
Yeah.
swim.
They can't.
They can't
You get their
skinny
bandages
Unclothed.
all soggy.
Yeah.
They'll fall apart. They'll,
Yeah.
they'll
That's how the complaint was
decorporealize.
generated.
It's not fair that they don't disrobe. Yeah, that's probably
I'm
what happened.
waiting.
I'm waiting.
What a ripoff!
Toddlers can no longer get fleas.
Scratch
Patch
it.
Scratch it.
Patch it. That happened.
Oh,
Toddlers
man.
used to get fleas.
I was
think that's
I
an
was still
incorrect
thinking
patch.
about the mummy thing. I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I know. All right, last one.
Who says toddlers can't get fleas?
The magical laundry bear Abracadabra will no longer block Sims from moving after disappearing.
This has to be
Please
100.
be
Scratch
real.
it.
You know
Please
it's
scratch
real. You know it's real.
Damn it, dude! No.
The magical laundry bear
I did not know
Abracadabra.
about that guy.
Wait, what? You know about him?
No, I've never heard. That's one I knew about all these things except for I've never heard of that.
The magical laundry bear Abracadabra
Oh my god.
will
Is that
no
in
longer
Magic?
block Sims
That must
after
be the
moving.
new one.
Yeah.
What is it, like the LSD pack or something?
The magical laundry bear?
Well, you know the laundry bear.
It's
It's
probably
the,
like
the Snuggies guys.
it's probably
Snuggies?
Snuggles.
Snuggles?
But
His
he's
name
like
is
alive,
Snuggles.
walking
Correction, it's
around.
coming.
Do your laundry.
No, they did a parody of him, so it's like.
I bet it's something
But
like
he's
that.
blocking the door. He's body blocking you.
Yeah, so he would disappear, but then you still would not be able to leave.
do your laundry. It's
Yeah.
like no.
Not worth it. If he's blocking the door, not worth putting him in the game.
Oh, that was a fun game.
That was really good.
That game upset me.
Okay.
The
Let us
impossible
do,
game.
Let's do a little.
Yeah, it's just like a coin toss.
Let's do a quick one.
Okay.
Okay. This comes from Anton Pershkin. Hey, allies. With Cyberpunk 2077 being one of the biggest and most anticipated games on the horizon, I can't help but wonder if there's a future for another Deus Ex game post-Cyberpunk 2077. To me, it seems like Cyberpunk will completely steal Deus Ex's thunder, and no matter what Eidos Montreal could potentially do, the new entry just won't hit as strong. Do you think Deus Ex could continue with the small semi-open world seen in the last two games, or they'll have to go more ambitious and try to compete with Cyberpunk by trying their hand at a bigger, more varied open world? What else could Deus Ex do to differentiate itself?
I mean, that's just not how businesses work. Like, just because The Witcher 3 received so much overwhelming acclaim, it doesn't mean they stopped making fantasy RPGs. You know, if you have something that comes out that sets a new standard, it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be things in a similar vein.
Yeah.
And like anything you love has a pretty good chance of coming back, especially something like Deus Ex. So I mean, it may not be soon, it may not be in the next couple of years, but I don't see any reason to say why Deus Ex would never come back. That just doesn't. It's not in a position for us to say that.
But like, let's say it comes back and it does have its, kind of closed off open world things where it's like, okay, we're in Detroit right now or whatever. Would it be less impressive after we've played Cyberpunk? We've been to that city, we've been through that world and through that story and had all those options. Does Deus Ex seem weaker if it's in the same vein of the other Deus Ex games?
No, you just do it really well. Like, you can be in a similar setting, I think, but like Deus Ex, I think, scratches a slightly different itch than Cyberpunk is going to, right? And
In
like,
which way?
just it seems a little more direct and a little less RPG. I know there are RPG elements, but it's like a little more focused on action and stealth, right?
Yeah.
And like, I know that that's in Cyberpunk as well, but Cyberpunk is also trying to be this huge like simulated world, whereas like if Deus Ex just nails that, like focuses on it, what makes it great.
I mean, Kyle, I just immediately think of like Tomb Raider 2013, where especially at the time of that game's release, it was just like you couldn't see Conversation without it being compared to Uncharted. That didn't stop it from coming out and being successful and finding its own audience and then having sequels that came out. Like, the video game industry loves to compare everything to everything, but even if it's seen as like not quite as good, I don't know how much that actually harms it. In fact, it might benefit it. Like, you can look at it the other way, where like, man, I just love Cyberpunk so much. I've put hundreds of hours into it. I just want more. Oh, this is kind of like Cyberpunk. I've never heard of Deus Ex before. I'm going to jump in on that. Like, you could just turn that around and make it as advantageous as it is disadvantageous, I think.
Do we think that the Dragon Age game in development right now was affected by The Witcher 3?
I think they're affected by their engine.
Sure.
Frostbite.
But I mean, I bet they're looking at Witcher 3,
course
though.
they
You know what I
did,
mean?
yeah.
Like, I bet they're like, we need to be at least as good as that.
Of course they did. I'm sure a lot of games do that. Yeah. Like, how could you not pay attention to that if you're making a game like that?
Yeah. And so I do think you're both right. You and Ian are right that like Deus Ex just needs to focus on what it's good at because it can't do that city. It cannot do what its CG product right is doing. But I do think it needs to take notes. It needs to acknowledge the things that Cyberpunk is doing right, at least so it knows what it looks like in comparison.
But I think that's also part of the problem is, if anything, games take way too many notes where like you play them and it's like, oh, they're just doing this thing that these other guys did. Like, that definitely happened with Assassin's Creed and Movement to a certain degree. And so like the worry that they're like not paying attention is less of a concern to me versus like, no, they're just clearly copying this because it worked.
Sure.
Like, that to me is a worse fate even than anything else.
To me, it's slightly more iterative too, because like think about like when a new game comes out that totally smashes expectations and like totally like revolutionizes a thing. Like the first thing that's popping in my mind is Breath of the Wild and like how it designed that open world, right? And how you could climb anything and how all the little like just like looking at the world led you into all these cool little story nooks and crannies. And like games after that needed to start, I think, are going to have to start thinking about like traversal in an open world. And like that's why we're seeing in Death Stranding you have that ladder. So like effectively you can climb anything because like Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever games that where you can't go over a little hill feel old now.
Yeah.
Because of Breath of the Wild. So I think that stuff like that where it's just like this changed everything. Everything has to deal with this now because if you don't, you'll feel outdated. That's the kind of stuff that I'm excited to see the influence of Cyberpunk. Yeah, I don't want, like Ben said, I don't want them to just start ripping off wholesale, but like those little iterations are the things that are really interesting to me in stuff like this.
All right, let me ask the panel this. The next Deus Ex game, which I don't think is any closer than 2 years away, I think it's going to be a while.
Yes.
Will we be able to modify our character? Will we be playing as an Adam Jensen, or
Yes.
will we be playing as our own, like, I'm choosing body type,
I
name,
think you'll be
and
playing
all
as
these
a
things?
very specific
Yeah.
character.
You think
Because
so?
that's the one point I wanted to add to this was like
Sure.
the lore. That's like the one thing Cyberpunk doesn't have. Is I'm going to go into Cyberpunk and love the fact that I'm not going to know anyone or anything, or like I don't even want to read up on the tabletop. Let me just dive into this thing and just drink it all up. Whereas even just having done the retrospective and like knowing the characters that way, I think there's so many fun entry points that they can go and you can replay characters that you played. Even like JC, was that the guy from Invisible War? Like that's a weird game, but like fun story, fun world, and the story's kind of bounced around all over the place time wise, and so you can really like be crazy to go back and maybe do something around the first Deus Ex, and so like you could kind of see how that world looks now with an updated engine, and like maybe some levels you're doing, it's like, oh, that's the guy, those are the events from the first game that I'm like near, And I think if you come at that with a very specific character, where it's like, yeah, there's this world, but this character you're following is much. Where if you like this one part of Cyberpunk or this one part of the genre, this game's going to lean really heavily into that. Like that's really what it's going to be focused on. So you know what you're getting into. Where it's like, how can anyone compete with Rockstar? How can anyone compete with CD Projekt Red? These companies that are just like, it's going to be everything, and you're like, ugh.
But wait, why not just remake the first Deus Ex?
Sure. You know what?
Yeah.
I think that'd be huge. Because Adam Jensen games are prequels, right? They take place years and years before the original Deus Ex. Ben, yeah, why not? Why not start with that, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
Like, just think about the way things are going, the kind of excitement that would generate.
Yeah.
Or even like I was saying, like a direct prequel or something. Maybe it has like Deus Ex and more, or like just kind of a reimagining of that world. And I think like you get the fans, plus you have other people kind of like Yakuza, where it's like, oh, I have this new title to be excited about, and then all this other stuff if I loved that I can get into. So, it's tough though. There were a lot of things where I was like, yeah, but Cyberpunk does. Wait, no. Deus Ex does that, and then no,
Yeah.
because it is going to be a really impressive game, or seems like it will be, but. They've been telling a story, and I want them to keep doing that. It would be a bummer if they like were okay starting the story over. I'd be like, oh, your story did survive generations. Like you were able to come back with a different character, different engine, different style, and keep going. And add more to the world. It'd be fun if they like keep doing that.
I shouldn't bring this up so much because the game isn't out yet, but what I really love about what Outer Worlds is doing is it's more compact. It is doing all these crazy things that a giant game can do because it's presenting a smaller world. It's presenting a shorter game. And I think maybe that's the way to do it too, is you can limit a scope in one way, but then expand your scope into an infinite number of ways. Like you really give your player a lot of freedom if you just make your game smaller. And I love that. We'll see if that game turns out great, but yeah, maybe something like that as well.
I wish some games were smaller like that.
Yes.
Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is humongous and insanely long when it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
It's called Odyssey. Come on. If you make your game Odyssey, that's the one exception I'll give you. Okay, you can make your game 80 hours.
Odysseys aren't
if
about
it's
like
Odyssey.
hanging out and well, actually, I guess there is a lot of grinding in an Odyssey as well. You just like hang out with some Cyclops for hundreds of years. How's the Odyssey work? There's one point where he's just like hanging out on an island for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Is that after like
I don't recall the
he gets
order of
captured?
things,
He gets like he goes to jail and just hangs out for 30 years with that woman.
Corrections. That's going to be a dense correction.
There should be a
Corrections.
game where that just happens.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's called Red Dead.
But I think the conversation, nice. Oh, it's good. But I think the conversation in Cyberpunk will be, hey, this mission with that one character is cool, and I say who, And you're like, oh, this person is like, I never encountered that. You're like, oh yeah, but you did that thing. You know, you played that from the beginning. You had that, you know, that road that you took, or like you killed that person accidentally. You didn't even know. Versus Deus Ex, where it's like we both did the same mission, but we did that completely differently.
Yeah.
I think there's a place for both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time for bets. Last week's bets. We bet on. No, let's not do like we just next week's bets first.
Yeah,
Sorry, I scrolled down.
Brad's
too far.
got it.
Brad's got it. He's ready to go.
Ready to go.
Final Fantasy VIII Remastered is coming out next week, September 3rd. At long last. At this point next week, when we record our podcast on Thursdays now, how many Steam user reviews will there be? Brandon Jones.
2.5K.
Okay. Ben Moore.
565.
Bradley Ellis.
50.
1999 for me. Ian Hink.
Dang, I thought I had the low. 700.
700. Let me lock those in. Okay, now we're talking about last week's bet, which is about Need for Speed Heat. Because we had seen one image,
right.
because it was actually 2 weeks ago we made this bet. We had seen one image for Need for Speed Heat. We made a bet about how many named characters there would be revealed for this game. Jones, you bet 5. Bloodworth bet 6. Brad, you bet 4. I bet 1. Ian bet 0. In the trailer, there was 0. I went to the wiki. I found 1.
Oh.
Lieutenant Mercer. Lieutenant Mercer
You monster.
is the antagonist.
That's so funny.
I don't know if there are any more. Let me know if we got this one wrong, but as far as I know, it is just Lieutenant Mercer. You create your own character. I don't think it has a name.
Lieutenant
I thought there's gonna be a
Dan.
guy like Wheels, man, or something.
Wheels is in the game. Here's the thing. There's garages. There's all sorts of
Yeah,
NPCs.
where's the
Like,
guy in the like telling you about your car?
They just don't have names yet.
Yeah. For some reason, when you just repeated that and said named, I was like, why did I say 6? There's clearly not going to be any, you know. Or I don't know. They
Yeah.
could have
Where
had-
did you
At the same
find
time, their
this?
names could have slid on screen. Who knows? Who knows
So
how they
go
could
to
have done that
the
trailer.
type in Need for Speed Wiki, but don't go to Wikipedia. Go for the fan wiki, which is always a way to go for these things.
Yeah.
How do they know?
Because they're the people who actually care. Like that's actually
Yeah,
it's a
because
really well written wiki
means a
page
lot.
actually.
They know.
Cooey.
If you look, I mean, like, hey, to the writer of that wiki, like,
Thank you.
sometimes I'm inspired by how much somebody cares about a thing. This I do. Like, you went through details harder than any, like, the PR went into. It's just like, here is how you will be customizing your car. Here's the story, the scenario. Here's the different cars that'll be in here. Here's the different parts of the city. It's like, whoa.
Damn.
Yes, thank you.
On fandom?
I think it
Fandom.com?
might be the fandom one.
Okay.
He's
If you
doing
find
the
more than-
research.
I'm checking, dude.
If you
It's
find
not
more than
gonna give you
Lieutenant
this
Mercer,
one.
yeah. It is now time for corrections. Begin correction music, please. Good stuff, Jones. Okay. Before Spider-Man, what was the best-selling Insomniac game?
Best-selling Insomniac game?
Ratchet and Clank 2.
It was the Ratchet and Clank remake.
Oh, nice.
I was on the
was it?
podcast last week trashing on that game. It was the best-selling Insomniac game, of course, before Spider-Man came out. Best,
Then they killed the franchise?
fastest-selling. Well, no, they didn't kill the
Oh, they put it
franchise.
on hiatus?
No, everyone in the comments is very certain another Ratchet and Clank
really?
game is coming.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess they could have a bunch of teams.
I
don't know
stand
how
my
many teams they
my
have.
position of like not being excited about it, but
Come on, man.
Bro.
It's been a while.
it hasn't been.
It's
a
gonna
while.
be on PS5, dude.
Brad, I just like I don't like the Lombax, man. I'm ready for them to
Wait,
move on.
I think
from,
you like the Cracking Time.
I love that game.
Well, let's not focus on the Lombax then.
I can't, dude. I just see him on the box. I see his smug face and his stupid ears, and it's just like Clank's just a little backpack. I'm ready for them to do a different thing.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Ratchet
Yep.
is dead.
Whoa. Who
New
killed
character.
Ratchet.com.
New character.
Yes. Is Clank in the game?
Yes, but not
And
a
then,
lot.
and
Okay.
then they're like, we don't want to, but we have to. They turn Ratchet into a weapon.
It's like Ultron.
He's like a robot, a Terminator.
No, but he's a gun.
Oh, okay.
Neural
Clank
net
is the only one who
processor,
can
learning
break him?
computer.
Yes. Okay. Hey, I'm in. That's something. I'm in for that. Yeah, there's a few Ratchet and Clank games that I've played and loved. The Ratchet and Clank remake, not a big fan of. And yeah, I was like, hey, come on, move on, stop this. But the comments on YouTube want to assure me that there are many fans of not only that game but the franchise.
Yeah. It's a big franchise, man.
And that it will continue.
Still waiting for Sly, though. Come on, let's go.
And I do want to say, like, hey, it was a $40 game. You know, it's like, okay, sure, it sold a lot of copies, but it was, cheap. Okay, the Kerbal 2 trailer
This
that
guy,
was
dude.
the,
Impressive. It's $40.
what's up?
It's even more impressive. It's $40. They sold more.
Why is
Sold a lot.
Why is that more impressive?
It's more impressive to have sold your most selling game, to sell a certain amount of money with a $40 game versus a $60 game. It means you sold more copies.
They said most successul, so I don't know if that means it has more revenue.
Sure, it made them the happiest.
Yes, yeah. I'm not
All
sure.
right,
Yeah.
pretty happy they were pleased with it.
Oh, huge success!
Feel good about it.
Most
They
successful.
had a
Yeah.
swell party after that.
Put it on hiatus. Put it on ice for now, though.
You know that song that's like now and forever. You know that song? Now and forever. Yeah, that one.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's like a big. It's just a song that feels like an ocean. It's just a huge epic song.
Oh, the Aladdin song? The extra one?
No, now and forever. And
Now
it's
and
just.
Forever by Richard Marx.
I'm sure it's probably not that. Anyway, I was making fun of Kerbal Space Program 2 for using that in their trailer.
Kerbal.
Kerbal?
Kerbal.
Oh,
Kerbal.
No.
Yes.
No.
Like the Mortal Kombat character.
Kerbal.
Okay.
That's Cabal.
Ian, you know who Cabal is?
Of course I know Cabal. I don't know.
Well, you knew it. Yeah,
I know how to pronounce the word Cabal.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, anyway, it was a reference to a fan-made trailer
oh,
that used the same "Now and Forever" song. Yeah. So that was why they used
Which
that.
song?
Now and forever.
but you didn't know that, so I
by-
think you're safe to criticize.
This is a
Richard
bit
Marx.
where nobody. This is like the most popular song of the 2000s.
That is the bit.
Okay. All right. It's not the
That
bit.
face is bit written all over it.
I make the face when I'm uncomfortable. This is not a bit.
Chat, this is when Kyle is
This is
so
not a
wrong
bit.
and everyone knows it.
I think if you sing it one more time, I might get it.
Because I know the people in their cars are saying, "I know this song."
Can you think of
I'm
any
listening to it
other
right
lyric?
now.
No, I can't because it's just now and forever.
Carole King?
No. Think of a song that feels like an ocean.
Kyle, what's so frustrating?
Ocean
is
Man?
like you're like everybody
like
knows
that
this.
ocean.
It's this song, but you can't give me the name of the song or who sings it.
Yeah, I know.
He's got like an arm motion with it, like that's from a music video, but it's just him. It's just Kyle.
Everybody now. Now and forever.
You're singing it exactly how it sounds.
No, because you did it 6 times. However many times you did it.
Finally, we got a correction from Epic Boy Blue that I truly appreciate. Vegito is Goku dominant and Gogeta is Vegeta dominant. There is reasoning behind this logic. Vegito is much more playful and arrogant, like Goku. Oh. The Gohan Bai fight is the biggest example because Vegito toyed with Bai a lot, a trait Goku does all the time. The Vegeta doesn't seem to have fun with fights. He is also too strategic to have fun with the fighting. Dragon Ball Super Broly indicates Gogeta being Vegeta-oriented due to his calm demeanor. So much so that Gogeta barely talks throughout the fight. He doesn't waste time in the fight, even extending to the final attack intending to kill Broly, a trait Goku doesn't have. He likes fighting and will always choose to spare his opponent. Vegeta opposes this by taking the opportunity to kill if available. If you have facts that can refute this, go ahead.
I got something. Vegeta
Okay.
likes to fight though too, just like Goku. He's just not as super playful about it.
Right.
Do you remember that they're fighting some Majin Buu or Babidi goons, and Vegeta was fighting him, and he was disappointed the guy was so weak and the fight wasn't good, so he just killed him.
Was this Vegeta? Was this Majin Vegeta?
This was before that, yeah.
Before he's got the M on his
Yes,
head.
like
Then I
they're
don't
in the
remember this.
spaceship. Yeah,
I don't remember
it's
that
a Buu
then.
saga. It's all like crazy.
Yeah, dude, Buu Saga goes over the place. If you can do,
But Vegeta definitely gets the kill.
yes,
He gets the kill.
Vegeta gets the kill, and I think that is the deciding
Like
factor
when he was
between
playing
this,
Android
the
19,
dominant.
like had his knee in his back, and he rips his arms off. That's Vegeta playing around. He's playing with his prey. Then he just blows him away right after.
Yeah, he goes for the kill.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he's
he
not
goes
like,
for the kill.
"Haha, come on,
Yeah,
fight me.
he's not like that. But
Yeah.
he's a sane man. He loves to fight.
Yes.
It's in their blood.
Yep. Broly too. Jones,
Air
you
Supply?
are you loving this?
Is it Air
Now that it's the
Supply,
end of the
Kyle?
podcast, I'm actually a big fan.
Yes, it is Air Supply.
Air Supply?
Yes.
Now and forever.
Yeah. Is that the name of the song? Now
Yeah.
and forever.
Yeah, Air Supply.
For the people at home who are also very confused, can we play like
No.
4
No.
seconds?
No.
No.
Bloodworth's
Not
sweating
worth it.
right now.
Not worth it.
He can just, he's like,
I'll
why
do
am I
it.
Not worth
sweating?
it.
Now you know how I feel, Blood. Because I'm sweating throughout this whole podcast. No.
Not that one?
Sorry, it is not that.
Okay.
That was Air Supply?
That was Air Supply.
Oh, that wasn't it.
This is the
That
worst.
wasn't it.
Corrections music this whole time.
And corrections music. Thank you, Jones. Okay, so our current scores are. Ooh, I didn't copy and paste those. I don't even know, dude.
This guy.
I'll know. Just
Just look if
we're winning.
we are winning.
Oh man.
We're one up. I got us a point, Jones. But we were close. I think we were only like 2 up last time I checked, right? So yeah, it would be probably.
We would have to do our
Yep.
call signs though, so we should at least say the name of the teams.
Okay, so that is 1 point for the scrappy little pigs.
I was gonna say Droopy Eagles.
1 point for the scrappy little pigs. No, okay, and 0 points for the gorgeous gorillas. Oh, come on.
What?
0 points for the gorgeous
You
gorillas.
didn't write down their scores, man.
Yeah,
They're
you
not going
said
to put. You didn't
zero,
put effort
dude.
into getting the scores. They're not
Okay,
going to put effort
alright.
into
My
the
thing was
who he.
optimistic but
Yeah.
realistic.
That who he was
Well,
good
you
enough,
said
gentlemen.
no
Yeah.
points for the gorgeous gorillas. I figured they're not happy about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I see you're acting.
Yeah,
There's voice acting.
yes.
Yeah, I get that.
Come on.
Like I'm
Okay.
trying to be a good sport about it, but he's still prideful.
Yeah, okay, I get that. I understand it better. If I was directing you in the VO booth, I would say, you know what? You're right. Well, next line. Yeah.
Great take.
Yeah.
We're not going to get that song.
End this podcast.
End this.
End
loopy.
this.
It is my right and responsibility. However,
Here we go.
let me say a little bit about patreon.com/easyallies. Here we go. Jones is like, this is my moment. Check out patreon.com/easyallies to see what we do, kinds of videos we make, how you could support us because we are supported primarily through that particular website. Yeah, we don't just do this podcast. We do live streams. We do reviews and previews and goofy things and serious things. So yeah, worth checking all of that out. If you want to call me, if you give $5 or more a month, you get this podcast early. And what that means now in Phase 4, which starts with this very podcast, is that you'll get it on Fridays as opposed to Sundays. Sundays is when the podcast goes public now. Thank you, KevBoard. So KevBoard Arts has the score for us. Ian, thank you for pulling that up.
Yeah.
It was previously 18 Scrappy Little Pigs, 17 Gorgeous Gorillas. So now it is 19 Scrappy Little Pigs, 17 Gorgeous Gorillas.
There's a +1 here?
Yep. So that means they won last week. 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And they were on a 4-win streak. Brutal, dude.
There's a quote of the week.
And there's a quote of the week. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. We're
It's Need for Speed quote.
here in the underground. We play by our own rules. That's you, dude.
And car noises.
Oh, he uses the Speed Racer logo.
Yeah. Yeah, worth a follow on Twitter, right? If you're curious about the scores. Jones, that means also you have 10 points of the season. I have 9 points of the season. This is a good team. Good team right here.
Nice.
Bloodworth with 5 points total, and then a bunch of
crushing it.
threes. Yeah, good stuff, Blood. Okay. Patreon explained how our schedule works now. That's all good. Okay. Twitter handle. Who cares? You know what? I'm not tweeting. If I tweet like you more frequently, Jones's mouth is agape to listeners. So agape that I will tell you that my Twitter handle is @KyleBossman. I'll tweet like once a month. I'll do like little catch-ups. I'll be like, okay, I'll respond to everybody, and then maybe I'll write a tweet of my own. I have one that's like ready to go, locked and loaded. I just like haven't put in the effort to
Give
do
us
it.
a taste.
I want to do food reviews for the McDonald's of Germany.
Okay.
You're not in Germany
That's
anymore.
Twitter gold.
Is it too late? Yeah, like it would have been.
No.
That would have been a really good tweet.
Germany's
1 week
still
ago.
there.
Yeah, it would have been a good tweet a week ago,
It's still there.
but I didn't get around to it, man.
Tell me off air how it
Never
works.
too late.
Off air.
You should
Okay,
do it in
okay.
like December. Be like,
Are
ba-
Thursdays
back in
just
August.
loopier?
Yes.
Like, is this how the podcast is going to be now, or
This
is
is
this
how it's
is it
gonna
just
be.
the first
How it's
Thursday, and so
gonna
we're just
be.
kind of trying it on? Like,
I think that Sims
this was
game
the
set the
loopiest
tone.
podcast thing I've ever been involved in.
So here's the thing: in the love and respect post, this will be my final word, just to reduce everything. In the love and respect post I made this week, in which I gather love and respect submissions from the $5 and up patrons, I also let them know, hey, I'm gonna see how it feels in the podcast not to do an opening segment. And I feel like it kind of worked. You know what I mean? We were still total goofballs.
It just leaked out into everything else.
Yes. And also, like, I get a sense sometimes when we're doing those that the panel just, like, hates this part of the podcast. You know, like, just like, what are we pretending? Do I have to be something? Do I have to, like, play along with
What
this?
do I have to say?
Yeah. And so, like, I feel like we just went into the news. But then, yeah, we like the goofiness was still like, wait, when do we get goofy though? When is the stupid part of the podcast?
Just let it come.
The entire
Yes.
thing.
Yes, and it is the entire thing.
That Sims game, though.
That wrecked us.
Yeah, it set the tone.
That was like some nos.
I do think that put us on a
Yes. Yeah, dude.
Too soon, Junior.
yes, that was our nos.
Does he want to say Junior? Do you know the line
think
that
so.
well?
I think so. It's like one of the only lines I know.
The Buster.
Video to promote. Hey, in just about an hour, Brandon Jones and I will be playing Pokemon Silver as a stream.
Yeah.
This is another Phase 4 initiative. Is like, hey, why don't we hang out in the studio and do more streams now? So,
Together. More streams together.
sure.
People were confused. They thought that meant we were going to be streaming more hours streaming in total.
Got it.
Streaming more together.
Yes, dude.
Changing
you're
our
right.
schedule up a little bit.
Yes. And so, yeah.
What?
What do you? What?
No.
Because this guy here, this guy will go 20 hours in one day. Don't know that batting an
Oh,
eye.
Ben's
Between
day?
this guy and Damiani, they were like our entire Twitch channel. So it's like
Yes.
we're consolidating, shifting.
I went 6 hours.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think you were paying attention very much.
We heard have back-to-back
Here in
shows.
Ben's
You know,
day,
like
he's
you
like,
were
oh,
just-
that must be all day.
it was 6 hours. Yeah.
And then they like in Cup of Jones, he gets a letter just like Ben streams 20 hours. You're like, oh, that must be true.
It's not like that. It was 6 hours sometimes.
So yeah, watch Jones and I. We haven't done it yet,
Yeah.
but by the time you're watching or listening to this podcast, it
gonna be
has
good.
happened. So yeah, check out youtube.com/EasyAlliesPlays for our archives, and then twitch.tv/EasyAllies, of course, if you're interested in watching things live, and EasyAllies.com if you want to see our schedule in your time zone. And yeah, especially check out that if you're still confused about when I'm talking about the podcast going live and everything. Check out EasyAllies.com. Because that's got our schedule, just blop, 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 blop. And it's cool that it modifies to your own time zone. Okay,
Now
that's
forever.
it. Well, sorry?
Now and forever. Let's get them on the website. One last time.
Tomorrow is forever all ours.
What I'm not a humongous fan of is Final Fantasy VII. What I am a huge fan of is marketing campaigns.
Sexy.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. View Sonic, SOS Children's Villages, Car Keys Express, Elfanis, Hogue Law, Rob Bob Will, Jojo Denko, Alex AI, Greg Kettering, Accounts Payable, Caleb Crawford, OM Hochstetler, Nick, Walker Hope, Will Schmuck, Mark Delga, Bradley Spees, Jay Shee, Paolo Costabel, Jake Musser, Richard G. Flowers, Beaten Down Brian, Dave Red, Zachary Wingate, Jan Tyson, Ken Lair, Corey Jackson, Professor Metal Gear, Dan Sebring, Michael Bisegli, Andrew Reif, Sigma, Tim O'Keefe, Ethan R.C., Mick Roper, Robert Stoffel, Hayden Hargraves, Valmar, Damnable Nook, Anti-Ataraxia, Ali Cat, Happy Gaming, Magnolia Eclair, Chum Nguyen, Miguel Rivas, Discarded Digit, Thomas Wigginton Jr., Neil Bruce, Matthew Pauling, Gino A. Leet, Blue, James Vitt, Jason A. Sackle, Luke Bennett, Candy Coated Thorns, G. Levin, G. Ken, Stephen Thomason, Yasser Kerbushi, Hitman 47, Ryan Anderson, Marcel Giro 017 Frolik, Samsa Stormbomb, S. Snake 24, Niz Klojgard, Netzak, Rack, John Burns, Samuel Justice, Brad Lohman, DRD 7 of 14, Brad Grenz, Krister Lundmark, Todd Yurkovic, Joe Burns, Sam Handrick, Andy Drew, Rickster EXE, Lars Berger, Jordan Kirk, Steve Fallon, Stephen Last, HMS May Cry, The Banana Forklift Killer, Joachim Morovuo, Mango, Calvin Hartanto, Marcel Markov, David Wen, Jesper Lawson, Oni Blackmage, Matthew Holcomb, Daryl Schramm, Catherine Lai, Gary James, John Santoro, Neuromod, Robert Crouch, Jesse Blue, Mikhail Aniel, 44 stars. Ritz 1906. Jeffrey Ruchtenwald. Noah Weinstein. Rainier Dennis Bautista. Wavering Radiant. V8 Dave. Eric Gustafson. Paul Sway. Christian Hundorf. Tony Knox. Isun Chor. Forrest. Caleb Ledoux. Mike Hook 1. Vilar. Mauricio Fuentes. Token Gamer. Christopher Esposito. Ian Ladarzik. Brian Foster. The Classiest Hobo. Vokaiser. Madman Kevin. Zintrax. Corey Landega, Unlucky Irish, Modren, Pooh Strongbeard, Ganzak 009, Paul Bishop, Travis Miosi, Carl Williams, Jake in Japan, Brandon White, Sneaky Gato, Sean Mackey, Gabriel Aberg, Morpheus, David Halverson, Reed Johnson, Joe Rutsky, Nergal 131, Manuel Thomas, Migaz, Adam Scherenbrock, Not Jack, Kurzistav Rogowski, Volker Bach, James Vest, Allison Burt, Jenny Markula, Bjornar Haroldsvik, Blake Bonsack, Sean Day Almeida, Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia, Daniel Mogo Sanchez, Trizac, Wouter DeHaze, Matthew Holmes, Eric Maynard, Fabian Winkler, General Piet, Hassan Kiat, Leon Keys, Raymond Lee, Clay Roberts, JC3, Adam Lindsay, Faraz Rizvi, Jared Wheeler, Jeff Easton, Dakota Hayes, Zoostick, Don Turner, Masuki 211, Alexander Zirianov, Aaron Kirk, Jesse Fish, Paul Nolson, Jason Joint, Edison S. Prada Jr., Febra, Gundam, Sarah Wampler, Dimitri Zetas, Travis Ing, Ahmad Al-Rashed, Bud Puddin, Tuttle, Furious Action Gamer, Jonathan and Amy Alconis, Stuart Siddall, Michael Shriver, Haley Hill, Andrew Stoke, There Is No Dana, Only Zool, Evan Eng, Joshua Vanswall, Kyle Quintero, Wobess, Sebastian Trier, Aurelien Grenier, Michael Pliskin, Bonnie and Jason Connor, BBC Chan, Wenbo Shan, Stephen Walther, Kevin Camposano, Carlos Zuniga, Diggles, XWF Outlaw, Circean Studios, Ibrahim Sozer, Jack Cullen, Momo Rashid, Rickard Enbaum, Michael Clendenan, Breadroll Art, Sean German Efficiency Clinton, Lee Young, Timo Yeager, Lindsay Wells, Eddie Reisner, Chase Caldwell, Palkin Stirs and Stirs, Barry, Mike Mizek Novak, Joey Din, Luca Martini, Gon Kef, Kelvin, Adam Henry, Ms. Racy, Beautiful Kai, Sean Rowe, Caffeine Rage, David Kennedy, Strikeout NZ, Michael Lay, Mike Calvi, Bard 91, Anthony Daniel Galvin, Daniel Wong, Hadi Ali, Jameson Anderson, Vincent Foliat, Hutchitron, Ahab, Neobear, Sebastian Olsen, Matthew Migler, Santiago Carrillo, Alex Glass, Junya Motomura, Mylene LaPearl Vanass, Delisi, Tim Strothman, Mither Strongbeard, Nycrypt, Mons Anderson, Ivan Skogheim, Jai Aldiar, Morgan Worth, Sam Sorensen, Awesome Express, Matt Ferguson, Vishal Singh, Helen Y, Felipe Aguilera, William Heaney, Tim Mann, David Erdy, Chris the Pianist, Michelle Nubb, Michael Stevens, Sandra and Richard Acero, Andrew Smith, William, Haman, Pablo Rodriguez, Matthew Colombe, Jordan Phillips, Philip Klarskov Jensen, Sun Pham, Jamie Z, David Amaro, Alex Monaco, Arthur Henrique Chenaglia, Zach Kaczynski, Jameson Lapine, Nuno Amaral, David Boyarsky, Rahiv Maharaj, Ryan Wagner, Pete Cerny, Joachim Wiederberg, Travis Kikowski, Christopher Santos, Egg Stravaganza, Gally Gutierrez, Chris LaRue, The Fatty Show, Jason Shields, Sood Al-Masafir, Stephen Cassell, Remy Loisel, Michael Kozachenko, Michael Bologna, Pete Shoemaker, Repas Edud, Irvin De La Torre, Max Harms, Cyberboa, Christoph Fatui, Azazel Valkyrie, Jeffrey Murillo, Mazrim Tame, Liam Ahern, Crediar, Jesse Vitelli, A Pack of Puppies, V. Kira Ray, Tristan Howard, Jason I, Ronka Q, Sean Cornett, Big Marcus, Andy Marks, Jeremiah Snowden, Materia Addict, Robert I, Will Arrowwood, Tyler Wallace, Julius Garcia, Gustav Strombaum, Christoph Packlinger, Alex Lavanier, Nefertiti Jenkins, Malcolm Moschette, Adam, Joel Olson, Quinn Riley, Robert Ori Einerson, Christopher Donnelly, Michael Rebelato, Matt Karwoski, Logan Young, Trevor Thomas, Matthias Clare, Self-Imposed Illegitimate Child, Joel Short, Marker Hernandez, Magnus Rasmussen, Clinton Hayes, Jose Gutierrez, Tense George, Dominic Brown, Chad McIntosh, Bunny Chen, Isaac Swanson, Joey and Kate, Raymond Chow, Ian Anderson, Zahid Hosseini Karami, Danpan 16, C.S. Lewis, Orugachino, Splontot, Ulf himself, Jana, Roy Sung, Kim Monk Vonderleith Haagensen Petersen, Colin Hoylman, Reed Marlett, Thorfkin, Jethrin, Max, His Shame Terman, Shanley Ladia, Rerun, Linson Wu, Luis Ibarra, Philip Higdon, Max Cannon, Spencer Stevens, Megadet, Russell Bateman, BM5, Daniel Fuchs, Ivan Ponce, Jay Potter, Christopher A. Butler, Richard Johnston, Sean Essen, Sebastian Urban, Matt Ford, Alec Church, Culinary Stud, Michael Yao.